テレビ通話の向こうでは、華やかな衣装に身を包んだ妹がニコニコ笑っていた。
お姉ちゃん、結婚式おめでとう。そっち今何してるの？私はね、お色直し中。
そう言って全身を画面に映してきた。私が選んだカラードレスと全く一緒のドレスだ。
親戚のいない結婚式ってどんな感じなのかなって思ったの。見てみたいな。
天真爛漫に見せかけて妹は私にマウントを取ってくる。いいよ。画面を見た妹は、と驚きの声を上げた。
どうなってるのそっちの会場。
私は30歳の事務職。1歳年上の彼、和夫と結婚が決まった。私たちの共通の趣味はプロ野球観戦。出会いは球場で、プロポーズも球場に観戦に行った帰りだった。ランナーは出るものの、要所を締めて失点ゼロのまま、ラッキーセブンの守備についたってとこかしら。だが、7回の敵の攻撃は予想外のものだった。敵とは？私の妹だ。4つ年下の妹の名はネネ。確かに可愛い顔立ちをしていると思う。私よりも。可愛い妹は少々歪んだ性格の持ち主なのだった。何でもかんでも私の真似をしたがるのだ。昔から。部活動も、服装も、髪型も。妹は私をすべてコピーした。顔が可愛いおかげで何をしても私より様になるので、妹が本物で私が劣化版みたいな扱いを受けてしまって惨めな気分になる。しかも妹は自分が姉より先にこの選択をしたんですという態度でいる。両親に不満を訴えても両親はなんだかんだで妹の味方をする。姉妹の仲は悪くないが可愛さ余って憎さなんちゃらという気分になったこともままある。だが結婚まで私の真似をしてきた時はさすがに驚いた。両親への紹介や顔合わせといったステップを踏み、私たちはようやく結婚式の準備を始めた。いくつかの式場を見学し、見積もりや日取りといった条件を見比べ真剣に悩んだ。応援している球団の先発メンバー予想と同じくらい考え抜いた。そして努力の甲斐あってか、私たちが付き合い始めた記念の日に挙式できる場所を見つけた。運命だ。ここで式を挙げよう。その数日後、妹から連絡があった。
お姉ちゃん、私結婚することにしたの。
そうなの？おめでとう。私は素直にお祝いの言葉を述べた。妹は幸せそうにえへえへ笑っている。
お姉ちゃんが結婚するから、私もしようって思ってさ。彼をせかしてプロポーズしてもらったの。
私が結婚するから自分もするって、そんなんでいいの？私がちょっと呆れていると妹はこう言った。
それでね、結婚式の日、お姉ちゃんと同じ日になっちゃったんだ。なんか、お姉ちゃんたちが選んだ日って、大安っていういい感じの日なんでしょ？私たちもそれにあやかろうと思ってさ。
いい感じの日って、確かに大安ではあったけど、それで決めたわけじゃない。私たちは自分たちの記念日に挙式をすることに決めたのだ。大安なら他にもあるでしょ？どうしてそんな非常識なことをするの？そんな、出席者どうするのよ？
私の方に出てもらったらよくない？だってほら、主役が可愛い方が出席してる人も楽しいと思うんだよね。そういう盛り上げ方、お姉ちゃんにはできっこないでしょ？
は？
そういうわけだからさ。お姉ちゃん、身内は全員私の式に出てもらうから。実はもう親戚中に連絡済ませてあるんだ。だからよろしくねお姉ちゃん。
そう言うと妹は一方的に電話を切った。いや、もう連絡も済ませてあるですって？なんて素早さ。サードファールフライでタッチアップを決められた気分。 今から私が親戚に連絡するとなると、妹と同じ日なんですが、と言うしかない。連絡を受けた方は非常識なのは私で、かわいそうなのは妹だと感じるだろう。最悪。今までは少々鬱陶しいレベルだったが、妹は本気で私に攻め入ってきた。手強い敵に私たちの選択肢は2つ。挙式の日をずらすか、このまま進めるか。チェンジアップか、ストレート勝負かだ。私は夫に妹の非常識を泣きながら謝った。両親に相談したら、姉妹で話をして解決してほしいと言われてしまった。そう言いつつも両親は私が折れるに違いない。そう思っている様子だった。悔しくて、悲しくてまた泣いた。長女の結婚を台無しにして喜ぶなんて、もう妹でも親でもないわ。夫は私の話を真剣に聞いてくれた。でもさ、妹って何でもかんでも真似する性格なんだろ？俺たちが挙式の日をずらしたら、また真似して日程を被せてくるんじゃないか？確かに。今なら確信する。あいつはそうする。泣く泣く日程を調整して、それをさらに潰されたら、結婚式の思い出は最悪の一言になってしまう。そんなのは嫌だ。そんなことになるんだったらずらしても意味ない。だったら俺たちは自分たちの記念日を大切にして、このまま式を挙げようよ。でも、家族も親戚も来ない式になっちゃうから、その辺は考えよう。私と夫は額を突き合わせて考えた。挙式の日取りは変えない。そう宣言した私に両親は慌てた。娘二人が同じ日に挙式をして出席者を取り合うという構図におののいたのだ。
考え直しなさい。
親戚の迷惑になるだろう。せめて半年くらい時期をずらせ。同じことをあの子には言わないくせに、あの子が勝手にこうしたのよ。あなたたちも私が我慢すれば丸く収まるって思ってるんでしょ？もうあんたたちの思う通りにはしない。私の一生の式なんだから。そんなつもりは。私が感情をあらわに怒鳴るので両親はうろたえた。でもすぐに怖い顔をして私に迫った。謝りなさい。父さんも母さんもそんなつもりはないのよ。親に対して失礼でしょ。何を言う。私が審判ならこんな親は退場だ。もう親でも何でもない。さようなら。私はもう娘ではありません。こうして私は両親と喧嘩別れした。悲しい気持ちにはならず、実にすっきりした。親の自由契約だ。私と両親の喧嘩別れを知った妹はすぐに私に連絡してきた。お姉ちゃん、お父さんたちに何言ったの？二人ともすっごく怖い顔してて、家の中すっごい空気悪いんだよ。挙式の日程は変えないっていう話をしたのよ。え？電話の向こうで妹が息を飲んだ。でも親戚は全部私の方に来るよ。父さんも母さんもだし、いいの？いいの。好きにしなさい。親子の縁も切ったんだから、親戚だってどうでもいいわ。
へえ、そうなんだ。じゃあお互い素敵な結婚式にしようね。
妹のこの厚かましさ、すごいと思う。当たってもいないデッドボールを痛いとアピールして平気なタイプ。今まで姉妹仲が一応円滑だったのはすべて私が我慢していたからだ。私は家族を維持するためじっと耐えていたのだ。それが妹の厚かましさを助長したのかもしれない。
ところでお姉ちゃん、招待状ってどんなのにした？どんな柄？色は？宛名書きは手書き？印刷？
まだ決めてないよ。
決めてよ。お姉ちゃんセンスいいし参考にしたいの。
参考ってそれはつまり真似します宣言か？夫の予想通り、この子は私が結婚式の予定を変更したら追いかけてきて真似をするだろう。自分が我慢し続けてきたことを自覚したら妹の真似癖がものすごいストレスに感じた。でも待って、これはチャンスかもしれない。 私が必要のない我慢をやめるチャンス。迷惑な妹と無神経な両親にも一泡吹かせるチャンスだ。今、いくつか候補があるんだけど、待って、写真送るわ。私はあえて妹に親切にしてみた。私の思惑なんて知らない妹は猫なで声で喜んだ。
嬉しい。やっぱりお姉ちゃん頼りになる。
頼りにしたければしろ。私だってトリックプレイの一つや二つできるのだ。それから両親とは音信不通になった。縁を切ったのだから。でも妹とは連絡を取り合っている。案の定、妹は私が選んだものと同じ招待状を選び、ご丁寧に私にも送ってきた。その後も妹は、
お姉ちゃんの結婚式ってさ、
と探りを入れてくる。私はそれにきちんと返事をしている。式が近づくにつれて連絡の頻度は増してきた。ドレスの色は、聖火の種類は、会場スタッフの男女比は、何から何まで聞いてくる妹に私のイライラは募る一方。このドレスに決めたの、似合ってるでしょという文章とともに送られてきたのは、私が選んだのと全く同じドレスを着た妹の写真だった。そこまで真似がしたいならさせてやろうじゃないか。私は妹が結婚式の日を被せてきてから初めて自分から妹に電話した。もしもし、私結婚式のお料理を少し変更したの。
は？
妹は驚いていた。
なんで？どういう風に変えたの？
お肉料理をワンランク上げたの。飲み物のコースもいいものにして、オードブルも一品増やしてほしいって要望を出したのよ。
そうなんだ。どんな感じなの？写真はある？見たい。
いいけど、見てどうするの？
参考にするの。
この子の参考にするはつまり、お手本にするだ。お手本にするということは、同じことをするということで。写真が見たいなら送るけど、旦那さんとよく相談するのよ。お料理を変えると結婚式の費用が大きく変わるから。あなたこの前、これ以上の出費はできないって言ってたし。
そんなことわかってるって。でもお姉ちゃんたちにできるなら、私たちにもできるに決まってる。
できるといいわね。妹は今すぐ写真を送ってね、と念を押して電話を切った。私は大きなため息をついた。その様子を見ていた夫が心配そうに言った。もう妹さんと連絡取るのやめたら？ストレスなんだろ？そりゃストレスだ。でもここでやめるわけにはいかない。一泡吹かせてやると決めたのだ。ここで弱気になったりしたら、今までと同じ道を歩むことになる。それだけは嫌だ。いいの。止めないで。これは血を分けた女同士の戦いだから。戦うからには勝つから。これは私と妹の WBC。ワールドベースボールクラシックならぬ、ウーマンブライダルクラシックだ、バカ野郎。結婚式当日、私と夫は緊張していた。人生の晴れ舞台への緊張もあったし、本当にこれで大丈夫なのかという心配もあった。けれど、いざ本番が始まると、そんな緊張は吹き飛んだ。招待した人たちがみんな温かく見守ってくれている。それが嬉しくて私は号泣した。式に続く披露宴も無事始まり、私は幸せの絶頂だった。披露宴の最中も私はスマホを近くに置いていた。出席者と一緒に写真を撮るためだ。そのスマホが着信を告げた。悪いけど今は出られないなぁと思いつつ画面を確認すると電話の相手は妹だった。私は一瞬迷ったが会場の隅に移動して電話に出た。テレビ通話の向こうでは華やかな衣装に身を包んだ妹がニコニコ笑っていた。
お姉ちゃん、結婚式おめでとう。そっち今何してるの？私はね、お色直し中。
そう言って全身を画面に映してきた。私が選んだカラードレスと全く一緒のドレスだ。
親戚のいない結婚式ってどんな感じなのかなって思ったの。見てみたいな。見せてよ。
いいよ。 私はカメラを切り替えて会場を映した。様子を見た妹は、えっと驚きの声を上げた。
どうなってるのそっちの会場。立食パーティーみたいになってるんだけど。
そうだよ。普通の披露宴じゃなくて、会費制の結婚披露パーティーにしたの。妹が結婚式の日を被せてきたとき、私たちは普通の披露宴は難しいと判断した。正直、自分たちだけではどうしようもなかった。そこで式場の人に相談したところ、スタッフの皆さんは親身になってくれた。そしてこの会費制結婚披露パーティーの提案を受けた。披露宴というきっちりした形ではなく、格式ばらない気軽なパーティーの形をとる。はじめの挨拶も乾杯の発声も締めの挨拶も私たちがする。それ以外の時間は歓談とレクリエーションの時間だ。招待客には会費の負担をお願いし、ご祝儀は受け取らない。お食事はバイキング形式。普通披露宴はフルコースを出すので、卓上に広いスペースが必要になる。そうすると必然的に一択に座れる人数が少なくなる。けれど、バイキング形式にすると、一つのテーブルを囲む人数を増やすことができる。一つのテーブルに座れる人数が増えるということは、招待客も増やせるということ。会費×招待人数が披露宴の予算になるので、たくさん呼べばそれだけ予算も大きくなる。しかも、ご祝儀と違って会費なので、お金の見通しが立てやすい。私たちがお料理のランクを上げたりしたのは、予算の範囲でできると判断したから。私が主役にもかかわらず、会場の端で電話をしていられるのも、あくまで気軽なパーティーだからだ。
知らないよ、そんなの。聞いてない。
言ってないもの。
なんで？
言ったら真似するでしょ？大事な式をこれ以上あなたに壊されたくないもの。あなたに教えるとね、一回呼んだ上司や親戚にやっぱり来ないでくださいって言わなきゃならないの。画面の向こうの妹は口をパクパクしている。なんだかちょっと顔色も悪い。そのドレス似合ってるね。私が選んだドレス？
うん。お姉ちゃんも着るでしょ？お色直しするって言ってたじゃん。
もう写真撮影できたから今日は着ないわよ。私たちはお色直しで球団のユニフォームを着るの。
は？
野球観戦仲間も呼んでるからね。盛り上がるぞーってすっごく楽しみ。
そんな、私の結婚式と全然違うじゃない。
そうかもね。まあ、お互い素敵な日にしようね。バイバイ。私は渾身の笑顔で妹に手を振った。すがすがしい。泥沼の試合に決着がついた気分だ。私は晴れやかな気分で招待客との歓談の輪に戻った。後日、私は親戚に向けて結婚した報告のハガキを出した。おめでとうという電話をくれた親戚から聞いた話だが、結婚式当日の両親は不自然なまでに私の話題に触れなかったそうだ。喧嘩でもしたの？と聞いた親戚に対し、あの子はもううちの子じゃない、と返したという。おー、私はあの家の子じゃなくなったのか。願ったり叶ったりだ。私の犠牲と我慢を当然と思っている両親なんてこっちから捨ててやる。妹は披露宴の後半は情緒不安定だったそうだ。妹はそれまで主役として有頂天だった。だけどお色直しから戻るとそれが一転。そわそわ落ち着かない。そしてスタッフの動きや披露宴の流れを神経質に気にしていた。お料理を今から変えられないかとか、キャンセルできるものはないかとも言っていたそうだ。そんな無茶苦茶な。式場の人もさぞ困っただろう。あの子は私の真似をしている限り何か不備があったらお姉ちゃんと一緒にしたの。と言って責任を逃れられる。でも今回、披露宴という大舞台でその責任逃れが使えない。なぜなら私と妹の披露宴は全然違うものだったから。お料理のランクを上げたり、お色直しを希望したりと、予算を無視した要望を通した責任はすべて妹のものになる。それで慌てて現実的なラインを探し始めたのだろうけれど、ちょっと遅すぎた。 披露宴の最中、しかも半分が終わった頃にどうにかしようだなんて無茶苦茶だ。話をしてくれた親戚が言うにはとても素晴らしいお料理だったそうだ。通常のメニューを変えて私の結婚披露パーティーのお料理に寄せたから特別メニューだ。その上、お料理のランクを上げたんだからお食事代だけでも半端ないだろう。お色直しだって着付け代、メイク代が発生する。支払い総額は一体いくらになったのか。球団編成の予算を考えずに FA 選手を取りまくったような式だわね。そしてその結果、無駄に費用はかさばるわ。夫の実家との関係が悪化し、それが夫婦関係にも波及。中継ぎ投手が火だるまとなり、大量失点してからの結婚生活がうまくいくはずもなく、新婚旅行から帰ってすぐに別居したらしい。だが妹は頼れるはずの実家にも帰れないのだそうだ。私という重要なピースが抜けた実家では、両親と妹との関係もたちまち不安定になったようだ。妹本人が私を責めるためだろう。頼んでもいないのに全部教えてくれた。離婚も時間の問題だろう。残念ね。全然悪いと思わないわ。次の相手が見つかったら、一人で考えて行動してほしいものだ。結婚式のドタバタが一段落してから、私と夫は義実家にご挨拶に行った。親戚を呼んでの結婚式と披露宴をせず、結婚披露パーティーをすることに理解を示してくれた義両親に改めてお礼に行ったのだ。すると義両親はサプライズで豪華なケーキを用意していてくれた。部屋も飾り付けて綺麗なお花も飾ってある。そしてパーティーお疲れ様と言って温かく迎えてくれた。私の都合で息子の晴れ姿を見れなかったのにこんなに優しくしてくれるなんて、ありがたくて嬉しくて涙が出た。私と夫は義両親がカメラを構える前で一緒にケーキにナイフを入れた。ウェディングケーキ入刀。相手のラッキーセブンに大量失点した試合だったが、見事逆転満塁ホームランを決めた。古い家族は一掃し、新しい人生の始まりだ。これからきっと幸せになります。スポーツドリンクとゼリー、果物を買って急いで帰宅した私の目に飛び込んできたのは、熱があるから学校を早退して家で寝ているはずの娘。その娘がなぜか夫に叱られているではないか。いいか、よく聞け。1位以外は価値なんてないんだ。熱が出たくらいで早退なんて情けない。弱音を吐くな。
頭痛がするのよ。もう休ませて。
話はまだ終わってないぞ。自分を棚に上げて体調の悪い娘を説教ですって？自分勝手な夫には我慢の限界。そもそも1位じゃなきゃダメなの？ 2 位じゃダメなんですか？私の名前は優子。47歳、会社員。年齢のせいか最近疲れやすいのが悩み。家族は毎日部活を頑張っている高校2年生の一人娘と夫と同居の義母。この4人暮らし。夫は一昨年勤めている会社の正規雇用を辞め派遣社員になった。相談もなく一人で勝手に決めたのだ。もちろん私は驚いた。急にどうしたの？何かあったの？すると夫は、感染症の影響で正社員の数が減らされた。俺は優秀だから残ったけど、少ない人数での負担が大きすぎる。人間関係も最悪だし、業務内容も選べない。俺はもっと柔軟に働きたいんだ。話はなんとなくわかる。私の会社もリモートワーク希望者を歓迎し、時短や交代出勤を推奨し、早期退職者を募るほどだったからだ。会社は悪くない。夫も悪くない、きっと。今はただ状況が落ち着くのを待つことしかできない。今思い出しても歯がゆい期間だった。けど相談くらいはしてほしかった。いつ収束するのかわからない不測の事態をただ耐えるなんて時間の無駄だよ。 でも俺はピンチをチャンスに変える。派遣社員になって副業で稼いで新しいビジネスの勉強をするんだ。
昔から自信だけはある人だった。そう、自信だけはたっぷり。結婚する前は物おじせず、堂々とした立ち振る舞いが素敵だと思っていたが、しばらくしたらさすがに気づいた。夢と理想とプライドでできている考えの古い男。夫と添い遂げるつもりだけど、正直言って不安も多い。不安は早速的中した。夫は特に何の成果も出さないまま、年度末に派遣の契約を切られ無職になった。まだその時期じゃない。俺は力を蓄えて待っているんだ。とか言ってるけど、さすがにあれから半年以上無職とかはっきり言って迷惑。さすがにもう応援できない。家でゴロゴロする夫を冷たい目で見てしまう。それでも相変わらず大口を叩く夫。俺の才能を最大限活かすために慎重になってるんだ。この状況で未だに偉そうなんだから。もういいから、さっさと働いてよ。いい加減にうんざりしていたのでそう言ったら、ゆうこさん？夫ではなく義母が噛みついてきた。あなた、旦那様に向かってなんてこと言うの？顔を真っ赤にして怒っている。家族のために一生懸命頑張ろうとしてる旦那様を追い詰めるようなことを言って、本当にあなたって人は。こうしていつも息子をかばう義母。彼女は私が嫌いなのだ。嫌味や文句を言われるのは日常茶飯事。ゆうこさん今日も残業？家庭より仕事が大事なんてそれでも母親？言われっぱなしも尺だが、言い返すと5倍になって帰ってくるので黙って言わせておく。ゆうこさんもうちょっと優しい言い方できないの？可愛げがない女は捨てられても文句言えないわよ。なぬ。お父さんに捨てられて追い出されて、うちに転がり込んできたお母さんにだけは死んでも言われたくないです。これは私の心の叫び。じっと我慢の子。そんな義母は夫をちやほやして甘やかし、彼の自己肯定感にいつも燃料を注いでくれる。その結果、いつまでも無職なんだと思う。きちんと現実を見つめてほしい。夫は再就職には難しい年齢。そしてこれから娘の大学進学にとんでもないお金がかかる。義母の年金はほんのわずか。夫よ、わかっているのか？仕事を選べる立場じゃないんだぞ。最近疲れやすい原因はこれが一番大きいと思うわ。私は大きなため息をついた。次の日の仕事中、娘からメッセージが来た。熱があるので学校を早退します。めったに体調を崩す子じゃないのにどうしたんだろう。心配だ。メッセージを見る限り大したことはないんだろうけど、部活の大会が近いのに早退だなんて。悔しい思いをしてるはずだ。自分の体調より部員に迷惑をかけてしまうことを気にする真面目な娘だ。今日は定時で退社しよう。残った仕事は悪いが自宅で。スーパーによりスポーツドリンクやゼリー、果物なんかを買って急いで帰宅した私。玄関のドアを開けると夫と義母の声がする。リビングを覗くと娘がいる。熱があるはずなのに制服のまま着替えてもいない。漂う不穏な空気。何かあったの？私はそっと聞き耳を立てる。いいか？わからないなら教えてやる。結局世の中、偉いのはトップに立つ人間だけなんだ。1位以外はみんな価値がないんだよ。夫がとうとうと述べている。娘に向かって言っているようだけど、一体何の話をしてるの？熱が出たくらいで早退なんて、情けない。弱音を吐くんじゃないわよ。義母までが娘を責める。これはどういう状況なの？何しに学校行ってるんだ。勉強と部活、どっちも大事だっていうのか？そんなんだから1位になれないんじゃないのか？一つのことを極めてこそ1位と言えるんじゃないのか？私は耳を疑った。あの人、派遣社員で副業するとか言ってなかったっけ？そもそも今無職よね。なんであんなに偉そうなの？娘は話す気力もないようだ。 無理。
何が無理なんだ？
熱があって頭痛がするのよ。もう休ませて。
俺の話はまだ終わってないぞ。
そうよ。父親のありがたい話はちゃんと最後まで聞きなさい。
私は慌ててリビングの扉を開ける。ちょっと二人とも。夫と義母は悪びれる様子もなく平然としている。
あら、帰ってたの？
今娘にトップに立つためにはどうしたらいいか話してるからちょっと待ってろ。二人を無視して顔色の悪い娘に駆け寄る。大丈夫？食欲は？お風呂は入れそう？そう、ゆっくり休めばすぐ良くなるわ。娘を支え部屋に連れて行こうとする私を怒鳴りつける夫。待てよ。これから話の大事なとこなんだぞ。
そうよ。一家の大黒柱のありがたい話を聞きなさい。
私は二人を睨みつける。体調が悪いから無理です。せめて元気になってからにして。なんだと？学校だ、部活だ、塾だって、ほとんど顔も合わせないんだぞ。たまに早く帰ってきた時くらい俺の話を聞け。顔を合わせない理由ははっきりしている。それはあなたが娘より遅く起きるからだし、夜は自室にこもってゲームをしているからだろうが。無理して話をするより早く元気になってもらった方がいいでしょ？娘が忙しいことは分かってるみたいだしね。まあ確かにそうだな。もうすぐ部活の大会だもんな。
1位は取れそうなの？
そうだぞ。1位以外は価値がないんだからな。返事をせずにリビングを去る私と娘。この人たちと話す方がずっと価値がない。時間の無駄だ。娘はさっきより辛そうだ。寒気がするというので部屋着に着替えてベッドに寝かせる。唇をへの字にして斜め上を見つめる娘を見てふと思い出す。幼い頃は機嫌が悪くなるといつもこの顔をしたものだ。夫の言ったことを気にしてるんだろう。気にしないで休みなさい。優しくそう言うと娘は、
好きで熱を出したんじゃないのに。
と涙声で言い目を閉じた。私はそっと部屋を出てキッチンへ向かう。食欲が出たらすぐに食べられるものを用意しておかなければ。卵を入れた雑炊と果物を剥いておこう。それと熱が上がりきって熱くなってきたら首に巻く保冷剤。あれ、どこに行ったっけ？確か冷凍庫に入れておいたんだけど。いくら探しても見つからない。おかしいわね。その時、娘の悲痛な声が聞こえた。驚いて振り返る。さらに聞こえる娘の声。そして夫と義母の声。私は急いで娘の部屋へ戻る。目に飛び込んできたのはおでこに鉢巻きを巻かれた娘。どうやら保冷剤を貼り付けられているようだ。首にはネギが巻かれている。
臭いよー、助けて。
半泣きの娘を無視して頭にキャベツの葉をかぶせる義母。
大丈夫よ。すぐに熱が下がるからね。
黙れ。母さんの言う通りにしろ。嫌がる娘の姿に愕然とする。この人たちは善意でやっている？私は急いでキャベツとネギを剥ぎ取る。雑炊に入れようと思っていたネギになんてことしてくれる。おでこの保冷剤のせいで頭痛がひどくなった娘は苦痛に顔を歪めている。何よ、優子さん。せっかくやってあげたのに。そうだぞ。やり方が間違ってます。寒気がしてるときは冷やす必要ないんですよ。それにネギとキャベツって。はぁ？あなた何言ってるの？間違ってないわよ。私は70年間これで熱を下げた実績があるのよ。娘が嫌がっているという現実を受け入れてもらいたい。拒否する理由としては十分だろう。お母さん、やり方はいろいろありますから間違いではないですが、昔と今で考え方も違いますし、娘も嫌みたいですし。いいえ、これで今まで下がらなかった熱はないわ。変なやり方で冷たくなっちゃっても下がったって言いそうですね。その言い方やめなさい。しんなりしてしまったキャベツとネギを見つめ、食べ物を粗末にするのはどうかと思いますし。それを聞いてさらに目を見開いた義母が、
粗末になんかしないわ。きちんと美味しくいただくわよ。
食材はスタッフが美味しくいただきました。というテロップが一瞬見えた。娘が布団をかぶって震えている。私は二人を部屋から追い出し、怒りを抑えながら静かに言った。これ以上この子の邪魔をしないでください。娘のそばには私がついてますから。それに仕事もするので入らないでください。俺の飯は？イラッとするが我慢だ。時間を無駄にしたくない。元気なんだから食事くらい自分で何とかしてください。私のご飯も？なんで義母の食事のことまで考えなきゃいけない。私は家政婦じゃないわ。好きにしてください。そう言うと夫が鼻で笑った。これだから半端な奴はダメなんだよ。半端？聞き間違いを疑ったがそうではないらしい。感染症も落ち着いたのにリモートワークなんてサボる口実だろ？それを言い訳にして主婦のくせに家事は適当、会社員のくせに仕事は適当。そんな中途半端な母親を見てるから娘も同じなんだ。は？何言ってるの？勉強も部活も体調管理もできない。ちょっと熱出したくらいで寝込むなんて本当に俺の子か？今なんて言った？我慢していた怒りが一気に沸騰する。ろくに子育てもしない、仕事もしない、家事もしないあなたが何言ってるの？今まで散々夫の自分勝手に耐えてきたけど、もう限界。何様のつもりだ？そうね。そう思うならもういいわ。え？熱が出たことを娘のせいにするような父親必要ない。何？夫を軽蔑の眼差しで見る。急におどおどし出す夫。私はこれから娘の看病に専念するから。おい。私の子だから当然よ。ねえお母さん。え？急に話を振られて慌てる義母。自分の子は大切ですよね。そりゃそうよ。じゃあ、そこで文句言ってるだけのあなたの息子さんの面倒お願いしますね。私は自分の子だけ見ますから。我が子を疑う父親が近くにいると熱が上がりそうですし、出て行ってくれると助かります。二人は何かわめいているが、聞く気がないので無視した。あなたたちに使う時間とエネルギーがもったいない。会社に電話して明日も休みをもらった。仕事は一段落ついているし、何かあればリモートで対応できる。娘が元気になるまで一緒にいてあげよう。過保護かもしれないが、私の仕事のせいで留守番させることが多かった娘に罪滅ぼしのつもりだ。分かってはいたが、義母と夫は出ていかない。それどころか平気な顔で私に、いつまで怒ってるんだ。飯を作れ。平気でそんなことを言ってくる神経を疑う。私を怒らせたのは誰だったか忘れたのかしら。それだけじゃなくて、主婦のくせに、だの、思いやりがないのか、だの文句を言い続ける夫には、家事も仕事も中途半端な私には難しくてわかりません。と言ってやった。娘の熱はなかなか下がらない。会社を休むのも3日目になってしまった。つまり、家事をボイコットして3日目。夫は我慢の限界のようだ。おい、いい加減にしろ。いつまで仕事を休んで家にいるんだ。それをあなたに言われて動じると思うのか。そっくりそのまま返すわ。娘の看病を言い訳にして家事をサボりやがって。私が食事を作らなくなってからカップラーメンやレトルト食品ばかり食べている夫。義母は料理が苦手なのでそうなるだろうと思っていたが、何日も続いてストレスが溜まっているらしい。鼻息の荒い夫に冷静に答える。あなたがやれば？は？そんなに気になるならどうぞお任せします。料理は俺の仕事じゃない。じゃあ何があなたの仕事？え？真剣な表情で夫を見つめる。答えられるもんなら答えてみろ。怒っているのか、恥ずかしいのか、みるみる顔が赤くなる夫。私はこれ見よがしに大きなため息をつく。あなたが言うべきセリフじゃないわね。いつまで経っても再就職が決まらないのに、娘に向かって1位以外は価値がないだの、一つのことを極めろだの、どの口が言うのかしら。 夫は口をパクパクさせるだけで何も言い返せないようだ。私は妻として応援してたし、期待してたし、我慢してたわ。でも限界よ。あなた、ここにいる意味ある？お前は何もわかってない。少ない髪を振り乱す夫。俺はお前とは違う、慎重派なんだ。焦ったって1位にはなれないんだよ。いいか？結局最後は1位の人間が勝ちなんだ。1位は尊敬される。1位は決定権がある。俺が1位になった時泣いて謝っても許さないぞ。何の1位？え？だから、あなたは何で1位になるのよ。仕事だよ。社長ってこと？自営業を始めるの？いや、そういうわけじゃ。夫の目が泳いでいる。じゃあ、営業成績1位とか？生産数1位とか？そうだな。そういう感じ。2位より1位の方がすごいだろ？だから何の2位よりもすごい、何の1位？待て待て。俺が言いたいのは、どんなことでも1位を目指す心構えでいるということでだな。どうして1位じゃなきゃダメなの？ 2 位じゃダメな理由は？やめなさい！話し声を聞きつけて義母が現れた。旦那様を責めるなんてなんて嫁なの？責めてません。優子さんは言い方がきついのよ。もっと優しく言えばいいじゃない。夫はこうして甘やかされたから自尊心だけが異常に育ってしまったのか。義母が私に向けた敵を見る目。なんで私が悪者扱いされなきゃいけないの？50歳になる息子をかばうその姿ははっきり言って気持ち悪い。けれど私は冷静に話を続ける。お母さん、話をすり替えないでくださいね。私は今、一家を支えている立場です。無職の夫と話す権利があります。それともお母さんが家計を助けてくれますか？え？その時、インターホンが鳴った。あら、誰かしら？義母が立ち上がる。そしてその場から逃げるように玄関へ向かう。それを見てなぜか夫も立ち上がる。まあ、もういいだろ、この話は。また今度にしよう。味方がいなくなったから逃げる気か？そうはさせない。座りなさい。話は終わってないわ。叱られた犬のような情けない顔。同情なんかしない。こっちだって我慢の限界よ。この機会に少年を叩き直してやる。聞かせてちょうだい。どうして2位じゃダメなのか。夫に詰め寄ったとき。そこまでよ。振り向くと勝ち誇った顔の義母が立っていた。調子に乗るのもいい加減にしなさい、嫁のくせに。なぜか強気の義母。お客様が来てるわよ。わざわざインターホンを押して訪ねてくる相手なんていないはずだけど、義母は薄ら笑いを浮かべている。ゆうこさんの方がよっぽど情けないわ。何を言っているのかわからない。誰が来てるんだろう。玄関に立っていたのは、ネイビーのスーツをビシッと着こなした、すらりと背が高い、白髪混じりの男性。会社で毎日顔を合わせる、秘書課の課長だ。私の顔を見るなり、深々と頭を下げる。電話もメッセージも繋がらなかったので、ご自宅に押しかけてしまい申し訳ございません。そういえば、会社用のスマホをカバンに入れっぱなしだった。お休みは重々承知なのですが、今すぐ出社していただきたく、お迎えに上がりました。え？娘の熱が下がるまでリモートワークの許可をいただきました。そうなのですが、義母がいきなり笑い出した。仕事サボって迎えに来てもらうなんて迷惑な人ね。サボってません。ごめんなさいね、わざわざ来ていただいたのに。何をやらせても中途半端でダメな嫁なんです。秘書だからって、この嫁にそんなに丁寧に喋る必要ありませんよ。お疲れでしょう。お茶を一杯召し上がりません？義母が上目遣いで課長にすり寄る。それを冷ややかに見つめる私。いくつになっても男好きな義母を、ある意味尊敬する。そのせいで離婚を突きつけられ、追い出されたんだけど。課長は、社内に隠れファンがいる人気のイケオジだ。 女性に言い寄られ慣れているので、義母を全く相手にしない。目も合わせずに手を払いのけ、話を続ける。あなたが休んだこの3日間、仕事が溜まる一方です。引き継ぎしたはずです。リモートで指示も出してます。それがうまくいかないんです。一刻も早く出社していただかないと会社に損失が出ます。夫が口を出す。自己都合で休んで会社に迷惑かけるなんてクビにしてもいいんじゃないか？そうよね。こんな社員のためにわざわざ家まで来るなんて大変なんですのね。何も知らない二人に一言言ってやろうと思ったが、私より課長が早かった。社員一人のためにお迎えになど上がりません。我が会社の副代表だからです。副代表？課長、その呼び方はやめてくださいっていつも言ってるじゃないですか。私はそんな立派な役職じゃないです。ポカンと口を開けていた二人がハッとしたように笑い出す。そうだよな。総務で働いてるって言ってたもんな。そうよね。やだわ、課長さんたら面白い冗談。いいえ、あなたは唯一の社長付き社員で、絶対の信頼を置かれてる人です。あなたの助言がなければ社長は動きませんし、全社員に一目置かれる存在です。やめてください、大げさな。いいえ、あなたが隣にいないと社長の仕事が進みません。夫が話に割り込んでくる。おい、こんな中年女一人にそんな価値あるわけないだろ？大丈夫なのか、その会社。その社長の目は節穴同然だ。課長の鋭い視線が夫に向けられる。その迫力に押され黙る夫。弊社の社長は彼女の真面目に努力する姿勢と仕事の才能を評価しています。総務の部長でありながら社長付きの特命もこなす、誰もが認めるナンバー2の彼女の仕事ぶりを私は尊敬し。すっとんきょうな声を上げ、目をパチパチさせる義母。今、なんて言った？部長？部長？舌が回らない夫。部長？誰が？壊れたロボットのようだ。ちなみに、副代表と聞いてもピンとこなかったくせに、部長の方にむしろ驚いている。部長だと、ようやくこの男の理解の範疇に収まるらしい。この半年、私一人で家計を支えていることに何の疑問も持たなかったんだろうか。それ相応のお給料をもらえる立場だからできたことだ。ご大層な夢と理想しか見えてない夫には、家計のことなんて興味ない話か。私はもう一度聞いてみることにした。で、2位じゃダメなんですか？すっかり力の抜けた夫は何も言えず首を振るだけだった。私は課長を説得し、明日必ず出社することを約束して帰ってもらった。娘もだいぶ調子が良さそうだし問題ないはずだ。私がいなくても仕事が進むように社長と話し合わなければいけない。夫と義母は気まずそうな顔をしている。自分たちの立場がようやく分かったか。その時私を呼ぶ娘の声が聞こえた。急いで部屋に行くと娘が申し訳なさそうな顔をしてドアの前に立っていた。熱は下がったらしくすっかり顔色がいい。ごめんねお母さん、私のせいで。どうして？会社休んで喧嘩になったんでしょ？いいのよ。おかげでゆっくり考える時間があって助かったわ。どういうこと？私は夫に向かって言った。あなたはこの家に何のためにいるの？病気の娘につまらない説教をするのが仕事？青ざめる夫。この3日間ずっと考えてたの。この家に何が必要で何が不要かを。それって。問題です。働かないでお金も入れないのにいつも偉そうで、挙句の果てに娘を自分の子か疑うような夫はこの家に必要でしょうか？だから、働かないわけじゃなくて、まだ働く場所が見つかってないだけだからさ。しどろもどろで言い訳をしたところでもう遅い。仕分けは済んだのだから。もう不要だわ。お母さんを連れて出て行って。わかってるわよね。
私が独身の時に買ったマンションなんだから、離婚したら出ていくのは転がり込んできた方。
どうしてだよ。俺たち夫婦だろ。夫婦は支え合って一緒に暮らすべきだろ。
自分で言って矛盾に気づいた夫は、もうそれ以上何も言えなくなってしまった。私はにっこりと笑う。そうね。夫婦でも家族でも会社でもみんなが支え合うべきよね。1位だけに価値があるなんてそんなわけないわよね。
頼むよ。きちんと仕事して家族を大切にするから追い出さないでくれ。
ええ、それができるようになったら戻ってきたら？
本当か？
例えば私が無職になったら家計を支えられるくらいのお給料をもらえるようになったらね。
そんな。
つまり今の私と同じ給料だ。仕事に文句ばかり言う夫には無理な話だろう。義母が愛想笑いをしながら近寄ってきた。ゆうこさん、私はいいわよね。いいえ、意味がわかりません。2人仲良く出て行ってください。お母さんはまだまだ元気なんですし、一生懸命働く息子のために料理を覚えたらどうですか？そんな。こうして仕分けは無事に終了した。すっかり元気になった娘は体調万全で部活の大会に臨み、見事に県大会へと進んだ。お父さんって私が吹奏楽部だって知らなかったんだね。1位を取れだなんて。吹奏楽は学校ごとに金、銀、銅賞をもらうのだ。順位がつくものではない。そういえば、お父さんは何が1位なの？あれだけ言うんだから何かを極めて1位を取ったんでしょ？私は首を振る。知らないわ。失望する娘。いつもあんなにいろいろ言ってたのに。こだわるのは1位になりたくてもなれなかったからなのか。口先ばかり、言い訳ばかりで自分に甘い人間がどんなジャンルでも1位になれるはずがない。2位でも3位でも銀賞でも銅賞でもダメじゃないわよ。私がそう言うと娘がうなずいた。そうだよね。結果も大事だけど頑張った毎日があるから自分がいるんだもんね。我が娘ながらいいことを言う。夫とは離婚が成立した。無職の夫に貯金を半分持っていかれたが全然構わない。あんなのをずっと養うよりはるかに安上がりだ。支出抑制の成功により我が家の財政は著しく改善するだろう。元夫は今、義母とアパート暮らしをしているそうだ。配送のバイトを始めたらしい。あんなに理想の高い人が、と驚いたが、生活のためなら当たり前だ。なぜ知っているかというと、未練たっぷりのメッセージが送られてくるからだ。
どうして君と結婚している時に気づかなかったのか。大事なものの優先順位を間違えた。もっと早くバイトでもいいからこうして働くんだった。働いて体を動かして社会の役に立ってるだけでみんな1位だと思ったよ。今更こんなこと言ってごめん。とっくに手遅れだよな。
ああ、まだ随分と自分に酔っているようだ。手遅れだって分かってるなら連絡してくるな。一生懸命体を動かして無職だった頃に蓄えた脂肪を燃やせばいい。
君の食事が食べたい。母さんの作る料理はすごくしょっぱいんだ。全体的に茶色いし、君がどんなに家族のことを考えて料理をしていたか分かったよ。
あんなに俺様だった夫がこのざまだ。でも二度と騙されないわよ、私は。義母が料理上手になることを願って画面をそっと閉じた。気にしないでおこう。もう他人なんだから。今日も私は仕事と家事を頑張った。それだけで十分だ。誰かが決める1位なんかいらない。自己採点なら100点満点だし、娘の元気な笑顔が見られたら満足だ。
My name is Mi. I'm 39 years old and I forgot to buy milk when I was trying to make stew the other day. I was in despair thinking I had messed up, but no, I'm glad I was born in an age with the internet. It said that I could use water or soy milk instead, so I was relieved. If I had lived in the days of recipe books, I'm sure I would have replaced that ingredient with meat and crab. So today, I'm going to talk about the ordeal I experienced at a French restaurant. That was 12 years ago. I was a semi-sweet young man who had just married my husband, Fusque, who was the same age as me. I'd like to say that, but I was already troubled. Well, you've probably noticed it from the thumbnail and title. That's right, I had the worst compatibility with my family. My husband and I dated for about 4 years. For 2 of those years, we had marriage in mind and had been interacting with each other's families. At that time, our relationship with my family was good, and I thought that we could become a family, but then, after our marriage was officially decided, Miyako came to the rescue. Shu began living alone with Yoshishi, and the atmosphere at Ona's home changed drastically. Yoshishi was 30 years old at the time. The official story was that he had quit his job in the city and returned to his hometown because he was worried about Shidome after Shu left. In reality, he had simply quit his job after being dumped by his longtime girlfriend and had come to rely on his family's financial support. Apparently, his girlfriend was someone from the same company, but Yoshishi had an affair with another colleague, which made him feel uncomfortable. His sister-in-law tried to switch to the other man, but was dumped when she found out that he had a girlfriend too, so it was the 3rd time. The one who was happier than anyone else during Yoshishi's selfish period was his mother-in-law. Originally, she had wanted a girl, and her wish came true when she gave birth to Yoshishi. Her husband, who was born after Shu, was raised carelessly despite being the successor. However, Yoshishi gradually began to find his mother-in-law's treatment of him annoying, despite his feelings for her. She would buy Yoshishi anything she wanted and do anything for him, but she would always keep him by her side. Because of this, it seems that his mother-in-law would often say petty things, saying things like, "I'm thinking of you." For example, she would say, "You can't wear miniskirts," or, "If you like this boy, mom will be your cupid." It depends on the person, but it's all things that you don't want your parents to say. It seems that Shito would interfere. As a result, Yoshishi rebelled against his mother-in-law and chose a university outside the prefecture, and got a job right away. However, Yoshishi finally returned to his mother-in-law. He said he was worried about his mother, but in reality he just wanted a place that would support him as an unemployed person for free. Yoshishi, who didn't know this, was completely fooled by Yoshishi and was genuinely happy to see his beloved daughter return home. It is said that from around this time, Yoshishi's mother-in-law's affection for Yoshishi accelerated even further. Yoshishi, who had returned from the city, hated young women and marriage. The reason was simple. The man who had dumped his sister-in-law had married a woman younger than her. And the one who perfectly fit the description of the person this samurai hated was me, who was engaged to my husband. Every time we met, he would say things like, "You must have a great life, being married and dependent on your husband," or "I envy you for being able to live a life like that, even if you're a lazy person." It was even worse when I told him that my family ran a restaurant in this area and that my company sometimes used them for customer service. He was so lucky that he could even rely on his parents if push came to shove. He glared at me for working in the service industry and saying, "How can you eat your own food with money you extort from other people?" I was shocked by his remarks that made all kinds of people his enemies. To begin with, I'd never relied on my family to the extent that he would say that, and I had intended to continue working at my current job even after I married my husband. I know he's annoying, but he's just adding fuel to the fire. I'll just keep quiet. No matter what I say to people like this, it's meaningless and won't get through to them. It was easiest to just leave them alone. At first, Shito could only watch Yoshishi repeating such nonsensical things with a wry smile, but once she realized that Yoshishi didn't like her half-hearted attitude, she joined Yoshishi in making fun of me, as if to match his tricks. Of course, my husband was aware of this situation too. That's why he tried to keep me out of Yoshishi's circle as much as possible, and when he saw me being criticized, he stopped me. As a result, my husband and Yoshishi and his mother-in-law ended up not liking him because of his actions, and I felt bad about it, but I felt reassured by him. Normally, people would postpone getting married for reasons like this. I thought about it for a while too. But I was marrying my husband, not two people from a family with questionable family backgrounds. If my husband was reliable, everything would be fine. Believing this, I decided to get married. About 6 months after we got married, I went to a fancy French restaurant with my boss for work. My sister-in-law, who happened to be window shopping, happened to see us leaving the restaurant. Oh, I bet she'll say things like, "You're such a good-for-nothing, spending your husband's money on extravagance again." I tried to keep my temper hidden from my face even though it was company entertainment expenses. Then, Yoshishi looked me in the eye for a moment, then turned to me with a big smile. "Oh, Yadami-san, what a coincidence," I was surprised. "Me too." Huh. This used to be Miwa's family home. I had no idea it was such a fancy place. I love French food. I'm so happy. You should have told me sooner. That's right, please invite me to the restaurant now. I'd like to try the recommended dishes. You'll treat me, right? Well, I haven't visited your sister even once since she got married, so that's fine. Just treat me as if it were a no-show. Actually, I'm on leave from work right now, so could you please give me a break? What? You mean we can't leave? Come on, no show. Yes. No show. Yoshishi suddenly changes his attitude and starts clapping his hands and calling out, "No show." It's embarrassing. For a moment I had forgotten about them, but my boss and the person I was trying to contact were behind me. As expected, both of them looked at Yoshishi and me alternately with a disinterested look, as if to say, "What's wrong with this person?" They were both eyes that clearly recognized us as dangerous people. I was just dragged into it. Should we, the head of the family, go ahead? No, it's fine. Oh, excuse me, miss, but I'm at work. I can't just leave in the middle of work because Yoshishi's family caught me. I hurriedly tried to follow my boss. The forced smile on my boss's face as he told me not to push myself was scary. Yoshishi must have thought that he shouldn't try to stop me. "Oh, I see." He said, "I'll contact you again next time," and easily backed off. Needless to say, the other person gave me a wry smile after that, saying, "You must have quite a strong and unpleasant family." In the end, the shodan that I was supposed to get if the contact was successful was ruined. It's not certain that it was because of my interaction with Yoshishi, but I think I was put off by that first glance because the atmosphere had been good up until then. If someone I was dealing with started singing or talking, I would normally think that he was the same kind of person and cancel the deal. The person I was dealing with must have made the right decision. My boss also told me not to get excited with a private person during an important meeting. He got mad at me, saying that I had become too relaxed after getting married, and my reputation plummeted because of Yoshishi. It was the worst. That night, when I was drinking and complaining to my husband about this incident, he immediately took the phone and complained to Yoshishi. But Yoshishi said, "What's wrong?" I met him halfway through. Quote. He said that Mia-san's inability to get work was due to her lack of ability, and he just shrugged it off. People around her would notice that she was working part-time and relying on her husband's income. I'm sure that's because she's not good at her job on a regular basis. He said that she shouldn't take her job so lightly. Well, she can say whatever she wants, ignoring the fact that she cheated on him in the car. Her husband, enraged by her insults, hung up the phone with a look of disgust that he usually doesn't show, saying, "Calm down, you idiot." even threw Jawaki onto the sofa with a thud. I think he probably thought of Jawaki as a kind of sir. That's how grown up he was. It was an uncharacteristic act, but it must have been how irritated he was by Jawaki's self-centered way of thinking, which was nothing like his own. 3 days later, it was Sunday, and my husband and I were relaxing at home. Just after the 10th hour, Jawaki and my mother-in-law suddenly showed up at our house. My husband was furious, saying, "You came here with an axe hanging from your neck." I tried to calm him down and ask Jawaki what was wrong. It was already lunchtime. I thought we should all have dinner together since we're here, but my brother-in-law's voice sounded so languid that it sounded like he had a heart mark on his tail, and I couldn't help but feel a bad premonition. My husband seemed to feel the same way, and he retorted that it would be fine if only my mother and sister went. No way. Isn't it more fun to eat together? Since we're here, let's go to Miwa's family restaurant. I thought he would say that. I thought he would, but he really did. Even after my husband yelled at him so much, he still showed up. It seems that these people don't understand even if I say no or stop in normal language. I'm sorry, but even if I were to take you to my family restaurant, I can't say no or anything like that. Ha! Don't be so stingy. You're my wife, and my brother's wife at that. In other words, I'm in a higher position than you. Do you think you can disobey me? My mother-in-law nodded in agreement to my sister-in-law's words. In the first place, I'm not telling you to pay for everything every day. I'm just saying it's okay. If you can't do that, you're discriminating against Yoshi's family. Miwa-san looks down on us. She can do that because she doesn't think of us as family. If that's what Miwa-san thinks, then if you don't treat me, then get a divorce. My husband and I couldn't help but exclaim at Yoshi's outrageous logic. Don't mess with me. My husband instinctively tried to grab Yoshi-san, asking what he was talking about, so I quickly stopped him. I'm not messing around. If you can't treat me, then get a divorce. Miwa-san has two choices. Tell us or get a divorce. So what are you going to do? Yoshi-san waits for my answer with a smirk. Shito is the same. Even after all this, it seems he still doesn't want to stop Yoshi-san. I'm going to make him realize in his heart how ridiculous he is until he wants to cry. Okay, let's go. Yoshi-san and his mother-in-law's eyes sparkled at my words, and they smiled and said, "If you understand, that's fine." My husband pulled my hand and asked, "What are you talking about?" But I looked him in the eyes and he fell silent. It seems that my silent gaze conveyed that it was okay and not to worry. Thank goodness. I told my sister-in-law and mother-in-law that I had some preparations to make, and while they were at it I called the restaurant to make a reservation. I also told my husband what I was going to do at that time. I was relieved when he finally smiled as if he was relieved. As soon as we arrived at the restaurant, my sister-in-law excitedly took pictures of the interior, saying, "Wow, so this is what the interior looks like." It was embarrassing to be seen by the other customers, but I had to hold back. "Please eat whatever you like." When I said that, my sister-in-law and mother-in-law bit into the menu so hard that it looked like they were going to burn holes in it. They're not hyenas, so maybe they forgot that this is a high-class French restaurant. Or have these people left their dignity behind at home? I've been worried about what people think since I got here, but I have no choice but to endure it. In the end, my sister-in-law said, "Let's order all the expensive items," and the menu was chosen from the more expensive, higher-priced items. Yoshitome devoured the menu that was brought to her with great relish. Miwa-san is the best. It's really delicious. I can't believe I can eat this for free. I want to come again. That's great. I'll have some too. Now, my master and mother-in-law said this with a big smile, as they devoured the food so much that I wondered if they would eat the whole plate. I smiled back and said, "Yes, that's right." Yoshitomi and mother-in-law were so happy that they were lucky to have French food again. "Now, eat as much as you like." When I said that, Yoshitomi gave me a thumbs up and said, "Of course." Seeing that, my husband burst out laughing and tried to hold back. "What are you laughing at?" Sorry. I thought you were eating it so deliciously." Yes, it's delicious. You should have some too. Come on, Miwa-san, you're paying for it yourself anyway. No, we don't need it. We had lunch before coming, so we're not hungry yet. Hey, Miha. I made too much. Oikoden. French cuisine is better than that, isn't it? This is what poverty is all about. Well, whatever. We'll enjoy something cheap. At those words, her husband tried to hold back his laughter again. But this time, neither Yoshishi nor her mother-in-law noticed. "You're not going to eat it. Truffles are the best. Since it's free anyway, let's have 2 more. Okay, Mom." Saying that, Yoshiko and Shuto immediately ordered an additional serving of abalone champagne with white truffle. It was served on a plate with a hollow in the middle, but it was a white dish that cost about 12,000 yen per plate. The sauce was also served with their fingers, so it was hard to tell at first glance, but it was filled with a terrifying amount of high-quality ingredients. It would be a little cheaper if they ordered the course meal, but they kept ordering individual items, so the bill kept going up. We feel even more embarrassed because there aren't many tables that order this many individual items, but maybe it's time to move on. Actually, there's something I want to talk to you about. Oh, what's up, Nomi-san? My father-in-law and mother-in-law came to visit me in a gentler voice than usual. Yes, actually, my family's restaurant specializes in Japanese food. Huh? My father-in-law looks puzzled as I smile at him. So is this a chain restaurant or something? It's not like that or anything like that. This is a restaurant that has nothing to do with my family. So how's the bill? I never said I'd pay for it. Let's go eat. I said, eat whatever you like. What do you mean, you? In an instant, my mother-in-law and father-in-law's faces turned pale, and my husband couldn't hold it in and started laughing. So this is a high-class restaurant now. It's embarrassing to laugh like that. But I can understand my husband's feelings. If this were my home, I would laugh so hard I could hold my stomach and then make a pot of tea, let alone make a pot of rice. No, I never had the chance to tell you, but this is a restaurant that I only use for body treatment. You never listen to what people say. Well, it's your own fault, I guess. Yoshishi shouted at me as I smiled. What? You mean you want me to return the food? No, if you ate it, you can't. Are you stupid? I can't pay for this much food. You should pay. What are you talking about? We didn't eat anything in the first place, so we have no obligation to pay. We reserved this seat under your sister's name just for that stone sign. Just because the name of the person in charge is mine doesn't mean you have to pay. What are you talking about? But in the end, you were the one who sat at that seat and ate. You have an obligation to pay. This isn't a restaurant that says you'll eat for free. When I said it would be better to pay anyway, Yoshishi said that it was a policy to stop paying for mothers-in-law. Well, if you look at the bill and feel down, that's fine. It might actually be cheaper than you think. This place is pretty reasonable. Oh, when I froze at the receipt, my father-in-law and mother-in-law trembled slightly. Well, I guess we ate so much that I couldn't tell how many servings there were. It was 300,000 yen. I showed the receipt to my father-in-law and signaled to the clerk to pay. No way, no way. I can't pay. I can't pay this. Please, Miwa, I'm sorry for everything that happened so far, so please forgive me. My sister-in-law, with her hair disheveled, was walking away, and shoot, with her hands clasped in front of her face and a straight face, begged me desperately as if to worship me. At that moment, an employee came and the payment procedure began. My husband and I stood up from our seats and tried to leave. Wait. Don't run away. With that, my sister-in-law chased us to the exit, shouting loudly even though we were still inside the store. Don't mess with me. I'll make you pay. No way. When I turned around, my father-in-law had lunged at something that looked like a vase and collapsed. If you look closely, you can see that her shoes are off and her heels are broken. So they overlap. Apparently, while she was chasing after him, her heel broke and she stumbled, hitting the vase on the cover. The vase was smashed into pieces. The customer and the employee who had approached her hurriedly handed Yoshishi a towel. Oh, that's thoughtful. Are you hurt? You tripped. What's wrong with this store? You're hurt. I'm going to sue you. Ha. But more importantly, customer, I need you to take this vase. This is a stupid vase that we received from a famous person as a gift for our store's turnover celebration, and it's worth 4.7 million yen. So, what's with you, customer? You've been running around the store even though the employee told you to stop, so you'll have to pay the full amount. You've also been drinking, so if you don't pay, we'll call the police. Ha! My mother-in-law, who had caught up with me later, turned pale at the sight, and my husband and I saw Yoshishi looking up at the sky, speechless, as we left the restaurant, bursting into laughter. That's right. Actually, I explained to Yoshishi that I have no connection to that French restaurant, but it was the restaurant of a friend whose father used to work at the same restaurant. That's why I've been going to that restaurant since I was little, and the chef at Tent is also friends with me. The reason I used it for our meeting was because I recommended it to him, saying that the food was delicious. When I decided to take Yoshishi and my mother-in-law there this time, I spoke to Tent directly when I made the reservation. There was a possibility that there would be a big commotion at the restaurant. But Tent said, why not? And kindly lent me the restaurant, saying, I'll punish you, Miwa-chan. In truth, if my name had been there, I would have been forgiven for breaking the vase, as long as it wasn't intentional. I feel a sense of gratitude for Tent's behind-the-scenes efforts to threaten to call the police. With the support of the players, Yoshishi and Tent spent 300,000 yen on food and drinks, and 4.7 million yen on the lower lid. We ended up borrowing a total of 5 million yen from that store. Why debt? Because we couldn't pay it right away, so we ended up in a monthly debt situation. Yoshishi was unemployed and my mother-in-law was living on a pension, so Yoshishi was in a hurry to look for a job, but at the job interview, Yoshishi was rejected because he arrogantly explained that the reason he quit his previous job was because it was a small workplace that wasn't suitable for my abilities. Well, I guess he couldn't say that he was uncomfortable because he was dumped after cheating on me, but even so, couldn't he have put it a little better? With no choice, my mother-in-law worked part-time and my sister-in-law did the housework, and somehow they managed to pay the bills, and it took about 8 years for them to finally pay them off. What, you're asking? My sister-in-law couldn't find a job for 8 years. I heard from an acquaintance who is well informed. That person did find a job once, but she got carried away there too, and ended up having an affair with a married man. The wife, Anna, and her mother-in-law have already paid off the debts from the French restaurant, but her father-in-law is still unemployed and still owing additional alimony payments 12 years later. After that encounter, my husband has pretty much stopped dealing with her and her mother-in-law, and has only been checking on them to make sure they are repaying their debts. He didn't go as far as cutting ties with them because at one point, they had properly apologized and he still thought they were family. As the saying goes, even the wisest of men are still worthy of forgiveness, so I helped him forgive the people in his suspicious family for a while. However, my sister-in-law, who was stuck in alimony payment hell, was abandoned by another man at our house. She has no job. When she showed up and asked him to pay alimony instead, my husband was furious. I couldn't stop her, or rather, I didn't feel like stopping her, and now we are estranged. She only had 2 chances, but what she did was so terrible, so it's great that she was given even 1 chance. People like us who don't apologize will probably do it twice and 3 times. I think it was a good thing now. Since then, we have had 2 daughters. My eldest daughter became completely fascinated with the world of cooking after seeing my father in the kitchen, and the other day she asked for a child's knife as a birthday present. Even my father couldn't stomach my cooking, so I thought I'd ask her to do it. However, she is a good cook for a child, so it's not so unreasonable. She even made flowers out of carrots. I'm not good at it. On the contrary, she is extremely clumsy, but has become very good at sports. I think she takes after my husband. However, her occasional flaw is that she gets bored easily. She was into dancing the other day, but after watching the Olympics, she's been saying, skateboarding, all the time. I can't wait to see what kind of adult she will become. In order to continue to create a bright and happy family, Mommy will do her best to make a strong dinner today. Oh no, I forgot to buy ingredients again today. I guess she still has a long way to go before she becomes a great mother. Oh dear. It's terrible. At this point, my son is a monster. My husband muttered, "Monster Ishimi." That's it. My son spat out his evening beer. Don't show your dirty face on a sunny day, Ishimi monster. Don't come to my wedding. My son recognized me as a monster. Monsters can't even attend celebrations for human relatives. I was so sad that I couldn't speak. I am Asako, 56 years old. My husband Kazuhisa, 57, and my son Hai, 28. We live together as a family of 3. My son is getting married. His wife is Nanako, who works at the same company. She is 27 years old, 1 year younger than me. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about my old home. We were a close-knit family. The 3 of us would often go shopping together. My son looking back and waving at me during class meetings. My husband holding my hand as we climbed mountains. All of these are sparkling memories. That's why I did my best. I worked outside the home to support my family, so that I could support my kind husband and son. My husband didn't earn much, but my son wanted to take the middle school entrance exam. I worked part-time doing brain work during the day and collecting newspaper subscriptions in the evening. I worked hard. It was a job that exposed my skin to sunlight during the day and sunset in the evening. My son successfully entered the middle school he wanted, and he also went to a fairly prestigious university. However, because of that, my skin may have been more damaged than most people's. One day, when my son had finally started working and I had returned to being a full-time housewife, something happened that caused a drastic change in the attitudes of my husband and son. It was really sudden. Huh? What's that? One day, while I was preparing breakfast, my son suddenly let out a shuddering cry. Huh? What's wrong? Did a bug get on him? I looked around the table. Then he said, "No, it's not the table. It's Mom's face." Quote. Huh? Is there something on my face? When I rub my face with breadcrumbs or something while preparing the food, it doesn't come off no matter how much I rub it. It's a stain, he said. That's true. My husband looked up from the newspaper and stared at me. If you look closely, you'll see that you have warts on your neck too. Ah, that's gross. It's not so bad with the great Buddha, but it's on your neck, and there are several of them too. And they made a low, disgusted sound. Ah. I'll never forget the distorted expressions they both gave me at that moment. From then on, I thought, oh, once you find out, it's all over. My husband thought, this is a scam. My son. He was so pretty when he was young. He was so pretty when I was a kid. He used to carry my luggage and hold my hand when we went mountain climbing because he was pretty. He was so pretty that I was happy when he came to visit me as a class counselor. If this is how it's going to turn out, I should have let him carry my luggage and let him get lost in the mountains. Give me back my woman who was happy when she came to visit me as a class counselor. He started throwing such harsh words at me every night while watching TV. When he kept saying them like this every night, it hurt to be told that I had warts and was gross, so I stayed home all the time. I started wearing makeup even on days when I didn't go out. My husband knew it was a scam even more. At this point, it's like a monster. Even a sand-throwing grandma would be a bit better, wouldn't it? My son's behavior escalated even further. My husband muttered, "Monster Ishimi." That's it. My son spat out his evening beer. And so my nickname became the Ishimi Monster. By now, my name, my mother, and you are all gone. I was called the Hey, Star-Stained Monster. Even though I was a relative, it was too awful, so I protested and said in a weak voice that it wasn't right to call me that. But they laughed and said, "But it's true," and told me to hurry up and go flush the toilet. Monsters live in toilets and moldy seedlings, so I was chased out. I was so worried that I even went to the hospital. The doctor said that it might have been because I had been exposed to too much sunlight, but that anyone can get it when they get older. It's the same with Ishimi, and that was the end of it. It can't be helped if it's curry. It wasn't for your sake that I was exposed to sunlight. I wet my pillow in frustration. Well, Nakata's son is getting married. Even on happy occasions, our family routine doesn't change. It's here again tonight. Before bedtime, we'll be bringing you the butt in the face hour. My son brags loudly and panting heavily. Even in the car, he's known for being beautiful. After all, I fell in love with Nanako at first sight. According to my son, his new wife, Nanako, is so beautiful that she was chosen in a beauty pageant at her university. But she hasn't greeted us once. It's true that my son didn't get along with me. I can't get along with the star-stained monster. I'd be in trouble if we broke up. That's right. Only my husband was outside. Of course she was beautiful. He insulted me again, saying, "Not like the star-stained monster." That's not all. It's the wedding, but you shouldn't come. It's bad manners to show your dirty face on a sunny day. Besides, only humans attend the ceremony. There's no seat for the monsters. Come on, I really want to cut ties with him. They started saying things like, "What kind of handicap is it to be a monster among your family?" I could only hang my head in front of the two of them, who were laughing vulgarly and loudly. Because of I and she, I was denied a seat in the third row at my own son's wedding. On the day of the wedding, I was alone in a room with neither my husband nor my son, looking in the mirror. This tan was the result of growing old and supporting my family, but my family had treated me like a wicked dog and denied even my bright memories, so what was the point of living so hard? A drop of water fell from my eyes reflected in the mirror. Then, the drop of water ran down my discolored skin. At that moment, the phone at home suddenly rang. When I answered, it was my husband. Please. I heard a desperate voice saying, please come to the wedding hall. Oh, there's no seat for the monster. We'll prepare something like that, so please. My husband's voice sounded like he was about to cry. How could a seat even be prepared for a monster? I headed to the venue for the time being, not understanding the situation. When I arrived at the venue and opened the door, my husband and son were there. They were both on all fours. The guests around them were all gathered around them. I tried to rationalize the strange sight. In some regions, there are rituals like this. It's a ceremony called fourfold righteousness, where the groom and his father kneel before the groom's family. No way, there's no such thing. Hey, wait a minute. I timidly called out to my husband, who was crouched in the center. Then, still on all fours with a sacco, my husband turned his face towards me and called my name in a sad voice. When was the last time my husband called me by a name other than a monster? It feels like it's been 10 years. But a woman's voice cut through my thoughts. So, why couldn't you call your mother? Because the voice belonged to a woman in fragrant kimono sleeves. My husband flinched and visibly shook his shoulders at the sound, then said in a small voice, I can't hear you. Oh, speak loudly. If it wasn't for some strange reason, I'd like it to resonate throughout the venue. The woman shouted even louder. The husband shouted in a voice that sounded like he was about to cry, there's a stain on my wife's face, so it's not appropriate for a happy occasion. The woman opened her eyes wide. What a sight to see. Oh, I called out to the woman again. Then the woman turned to me. Then she came up to me and crept up to my face. She was a beautiful woman, so I didn't feel uncomfortable being approached, but it was my first time meeting the person who had been shouting so loudly. I let out a small gasp at her sudden action and anger. However, the woman immediately returned the kiss and went back to her husband and son to start again. Quote, your mother's stain? I saw it. You haven't knocked her down yet. The woman then turned to the bride who was standing in the back. Hey, you. Give the bride some tissues. The woman demanded. The bride's mother, who was wearing a ceremonial sleeve, was obviously the bride's mother. Naturally, the bride had no tissues since she was wearing a dress. Unable to bear the sight, a person who seemed to be the bride's attendant handed the tissue to the bride's mother. Taking it, the bride's mother wiped her cheeks with it. Look at this. Her husband and son looked up. They exclaimed, huh? And then said, excuse me. They both said, excuse me, and sighed again. The bride's mother had darker spots than mine. Spots appear when you get older. After all this, she screamed and told me not to show my dirty face on a special day. People with dirty hearts like you shouldn't come out on a special day. The bride's mother said it all at once. Her husband and son shrank even further, still on all fours. I learned that when a person shrinks, they become one size smaller. My child is certainly beautiful. Yes, he is beautiful. I'm proud of him. But the bride's mother proudly called her child beautiful. However, Moiso-sama was amazing. If you bury a child, you might get fat at 33, and of course you'll get stains and warts along with the curry. You said yes so confidently when the priest asked you if you would quit or if you would be fine. Not only did you give up, you even gave up feeling grateful to your mother who raised you with nothing but curry stains. I can't imagine that you'll still care about my lovely daughter when you quit. After hearing the bride's mother's angry speech, I thought, I have stains too. One of the women in the third row stood up. No, I saw all the older women take a step forward little by little. What kind of thing would she say? The werewolf family is the kind of people who decide a person's worth by the number of stains they have. The angry voice of the alien filled the venue. With that voice as background music, the time I spent being called a monster ran through my mind like a horse. I had always felt helpless, but that helplessness was saved by the fact that all the women in the venue took a step forward. The feeling of helplessness that I had always held was not wrong. The moment I thought that, I cried out loud. I think I was half crying at a volume that rivaled that of the bride's mother. The pent-up responsibility that had been gushing out all at once and my screams and emotions couldn't keep up. It wasn't because I had supported you both. It wasn't because I had supported the two of you all the time, while getting plenty of UV rays every day from delivering newspapers and doing brain work. I threw all the pent-up resentment I had been holding in at the two of you. The bride spat it out in a cold voice while looking down at her son. Yes. The son looked up. His face was a mess with tears and snot, probably because he had been completely cornered by the bride's mother, the older women, and me yelling at him. The bride gave him a quick look and stabbed him in the back with her words. You yourself know that it's unforgivable to treat your mother like a monster, don't you? When I asked why I couldn't see my mother, she just said something like she wasn't feeling well or something. Well, I figured it out because my father gave me the reason today, but I feel like my father is the one who's so blatantly saying that she's dirty, so he's worthless. But the result is the same. My mother has more she than your mother. And they're bigger. But what do you think my father said about my mother's she? He said it was a badge of honor for supporting the family. He also said it was proof of her life's experience as she grew older. Suddenly, I saw a man who seemed to be the bride's father standing behind the bride. He was a small man, smiling a little shyly. It's the truth. He said in a low voice, "Thank you. I love you too, Dad, for saying that." The bride turned around and said to him. I could see him getting even more shy. The bride looked down at her son again. And her tone returned to its usual harsh tone. She and he are things to be praised, not criticized. There's no way I, who was raised by such a father and mother, would allow such a remark. The son lowered his head into the dirt he had just walked through. His head had been scraping against the floor so many times, and his forehead and body had been red since a while ago. The bride said to the son in a clear, resonant voice, "It's a good thing we haven't filed the marriage registration yet." Huh? That's what the husband and son said in a demeaning voice. Then they got angry. I didn't curse you. Rather, I like your beautiful side. Quote, yes. The sun moved around on the ground with a rustling sound, and clung to the foot of the bride's dress. The bride shook him off by flapping the hem of her dress. It was like a thief. However, it was the man who was shaken off. And it was the sun. Having been shaken off, the sun fell to the ground again, ugly. I hate the monster in your heart. The bride had nowhere to go. From here on out, we will have a dinner party. The host and the bride talked for a bit, and the attendant said so. There was a brief round of applause in the venue, and everyone went back. There is a seat for your mother, so please enjoy your meal. The bride came over to us. Until today, I didn't know that her mother was absent, so there is a seat. I also chose this venue because the food is delicious. The bride smiled. How beautiful and graceful. I could tell. The bride told me in secret. The steak is especially delicious. Tears fell from my eyes. You are truly a wonderful young lady, I said to the bride in a hoarse voice. I wish we could have really broken up. The bride's mother came over and we laughed together. But we can become friends. This is also some kind of fate. Let's exchange contact information. After that, I had a nice meal and talked about various things with the bride's mother. Her husband and son ran away from the venue. What I was surprised to hear at the party was that the bride's mother had made the bride's dress. I also like treasures, and because of that unexpected hobby, I continued to be friends with the bride's mother, Miko. And then, a few years later, Miko told me that she had arranged a marriage with someone else, and that I had divorced my husband. Since it was my husband's fault, I was able to receive compensation. And my son. Many people from my son's company were at the wedding. My son couldn't stay at the company anymore and left. My husband and I moved out of the house. Thanks to that, I am now enjoying my single life in style. No one will know that I am Ishimi even without makeup, and I feel much more at ease knowing that there is no more insults. How stressful that was. I don't think compensation will be enough. I wonder where my son went astray. I do feel some responsibility for my parenting failures, but I will probably never see him again while I am alive. When I am buried in a coffin, please don't hide this. My son, look at me for the last time and regret it once more. And about that wedding dress. What, you're making it again? I am in awe of Rumiko's guts. After a few years, Rumiko and I had become more than just friends, we had become best friends. We would go to each other's houses to get re-stitched and watch movies together. Now Rumiko was trying to make a wedding dress again. I thought she was a really active person, but she said she wanted to make one. But it would be hard, so she asked me to help her. Of course. Neko-chan has always been friendly with me, so I was happy. Then Neko-chan came over with cookies and tea. Mom is going to say something like, "Are you asking for something unreasonable again?" It's okay. I'm alone too, so I'm happy to have fun and treasure making time like this. I laughed. Then I nibbled on a cookie. This tea is delicious. It's from a shop in front of the station. They're open in the afternoon, so let's go together sometime. Oh, I want to go too. Rumi-san suggested it, and Nanako-san joined in. I smiled as I wrote down my plans in the scheduler.
そういえば、私たちが置いていったあの子はどうしたの？生きてる？まだ生きてるなら、下の子たちの面倒でも見てもらおっかな。
姪と借金を私に押し付けて消えた妹と元夫が、ケラケラ笑いながら私に言ってきた。自分勝手に捨てた子供を、今度は自分たちのいいように使おうと？そんなこと絶対にさせるものか。私は姪と私の尊厳を守るため、真実という武器を手にして彼らに立ち向かった。私の名前は双葉、43歳。夫と娘2人の4人家族だ。今では幸せな家庭を築いているが、ここに至るまでいろいろなことがあった。というのも、私はバツイチ、今の夫とは再婚である。そして娘2人のうち、長女を産んだのは私ではない。では誰の子なのか、どうして私が育てることになったのかお話しします。私が最初に結婚したのは25歳の時。大学を卒業して一般の会社で営業事務として勤めていた時、同じ部署の営業だった幼児と出会った。幼児は先輩として私にいろいろ教えてくれ、私も幼児について営業先を一緒に回った。自然と一緒にいる時間が長くなり、頼りになる彼に私はいつしか惹かれていった。幼児も、君がサポートしてくれると安心して営業ができる。と言ってくれた。そんな私たちが交際するようになるまで時間はかからなかった。プロポーズをされたのは交際3年目。実家に結婚の挨拶に行くと、両親は喜んで賛成してくれた。ただこの時、幼児に私のもう一人の家族を紹介することはできなかった。そして迎えた結婚式当日。私はこの日のために悩んで決めた純白のドレスを身につけた。そんなドレス姿を見て、幼児も、綺麗だよ、惚れ直した。と言ってくれた。幸せな空気に包まれ、間もなく挙式スタートという時に、式場がちょっとざわついた。妹の三葉がやってきたのだ。なんと、花嫁と色かぶりの純白のワンピース姿で。これには両親も黙っていなかった。こら、三葉、結婚式で白いドレスを着るなんてマナー違反だぞ。白は花嫁の色だろ。しかし三葉はきょとんとした顔でこう言った。
だって、結婚式に着られそうなドレス、これしかなかったんだもん。他のドレスはちょっと露出が激しいから、やめた方がいいかなーって。
これには両親も怒るのを通り越して呆れる始末。とはいえ、そんなことで挙式を遅らせるわけにもいかず、式は予定通りスタートした。普通なら結婚式での主役は花嫁。つまり私のわけだが、この式で参加者の注目を集めたのは三葉だった。彼女は花嫁姿の私よりもかなり目立っていたからだ。三葉は5歳年下の妹で何から何まで私と違った。幼少時は私も幼い妹が可愛くて仕方なかった記憶がある。小さい時は一緒によく遊んでいたが、いつしか遊ばなくなった。というのも、三葉は容姿だけでなく、性格も私と正反対だったからだ。私はどちらかというと、地味で目立たない容姿、性格も内向的で趣味は読書。一方、三葉はクリッとした二重で、スタイルも良く、周りからもよく可愛いと言われる容姿だった。周りからもてはやされて育った三葉は、自由奔放な性格になった。そんな三葉は高校を卒業すると、
勉強なんてもうごめんよ。
と言って早々に家を出た。それから何をするのかと思えば、キャバクラで働き出した。街中を歩いていたら、スカウトされてすぐにお店に出るようになったとか。若く見た目も可愛かったことから、すぐに指名客が増え、月に100万ほど稼ぐこともあったよう。たまに実家に帰ってきては、武勇伝として語っていた。父は、そんな仕事はやめろ、と何度も言ったが、稼げるんだからいいじゃん、というだけで、両親の言うことなど何も聞かなかった。こちらから連絡してもなかなか繋がらず、気が向いた時にしか帰ってこない。だから結婚の挨拶の時も紹介できなかったのだ。そんな妹が結婚式で 私の主役の座を奪った。幼児には妹がいることは言っていたが、これが彼と妹の初対面となった。三葉は幼児に、
こっちがお姉ちゃんの旦那さんになる人？はじめまして、妹の三葉です。今度お店に来てくれたら結婚祝いってことでサービスしますね。
なんて言いながらキャバクラの名刺を渡した。幼児は最初は驚いて唖然としていたが、びっくりした。妹がいるとは聞いていたけど、全然似てないんだな。と口にした。この日、幼児は結婚式だというのに、すぐ横にいる私ではなく、三葉ばかりを見つめていた。私と夫は賃貸マンションで新生活をスタートした。私は仕事を辞めて専業主婦となった。いずれは子育てに専念するつもりだったし、幼児もそうしてほしいと言っていたから。夫を送り出し、家事を済ませ、夕食を作って夫を待つ。そして一日のことを話しながら食卓を囲む。ささやかだが心満たされる毎日。しかしそんな日々も長くは続かなかった。次第に夫の帰りが遅くなるようになったのだ。ある日、日付が変わる頃に夫が帰ってきた。かなり酔っており、お酒と香水の匂いがプンプンと漂うほどだったので、大丈夫？飲みすぎよ。今日は接待でもあったの？それとも同僚と飲みにでも行ったの？と聞くと、同僚と飲んだだけだよ。結婚したからってそんな問い詰めんなよ。と怒鳴りながらジャケットを脱ぎ捨てた。ジャケットを拾い上げると、ポケットから名刺代の紙が落ちた。クラブ、シュガー、キャンディー、さやか。あれ？これって。ねえ、もしかして三葉のお店に行ったの？ああ、行ったよ。だって三葉ちゃん、結婚式の時に遊びに来てって言ってたじゃないか。だから同僚と行ってみたんだよ。そうしたらびっくり。なんと三葉ちゃん、お店のナンバーワンなんだって。普通じゃ俺たちの相手なんかしてくれないんだろうけど、今日はお祝いだからって、俺らの横についてくれたんだぜ。と、デレッとした顔で自慢しだした。この時は結婚式に三葉が気軽においでって言っていたから、義兄という手前、顔を出してみたのだろうと思っていた。しかしこの日以降、夫は三葉の店に足しげく通うようになった。連日、お酒と香水の匂いをプンプンさせて夜更けに帰宅する夫。クレジットの明細を確認すると、支払い先に三葉の店名がずらっと記載されていた。どうしてそんなに三葉のお店に行くの？と聞けば。だって可愛い義妹だぞ。売り上げに貢献したいだろう。と言う。それにしても行き過ぎだ。正直お金だって馬鹿にならない。ちょっとは考えてもらいたくて。ねえ、本当に三葉のお店に行くのはそろそろ控えて。お金だって使いすぎよ。と言ったのに、俺が稼いだ金なんだから何に使おうと俺の勝手だろ。と怒鳴られる始末。こうして私と夫の間に徐々に亀裂が入っていった。結婚3年目。この頃、私たち夫婦の間には大きな溝ができていた。大きな原因は私たちの間に子供ができなかったことだ。夫は私に向かって、子供ができないのはお前のせいだろ。普通なら子供の1人や2人いたっておかしくないのに。去年結婚した後輩にはもう子供がいるって言うのに、先輩のとこはまだですか？子供は可愛いですよ、なんて会社で言われるんだぞ。とよく文句を言うようになった。私も確かに結婚して3年も経つのに子供ができないのはおかしいかもと思って産婦人科で見てもらったこともある。しかし私の体には何も異常はなかった。それを伝えたのに夫は信じてくれなかった。そして、不妊だって知っていたらお前となんか結婚なんてしなかったのに。とまで言われ、私はこの頃、いたたまれない毎日を過ごしていた。何をしていても面白くはない。夜になっても夫は帰ってこない。私はどうして結婚したのだろう。これからどうしたらいいのだろうと考える日々。そんなやりがいのない日々を過ごしていたある日、母から電話がかかってきた。もしもし、お母さん、どうしたの？双葉？どうしよう。三葉が妊娠したって、
しかも父親が誰かわからないっていうの。家に戻ってきたんだけど、もうお父さんカンカンで。私は急いで実家に行った。三葉、妊娠したって本当？私は父親がわからないなんてかなり深刻だろうと思って心配して聞いたのに。
あ、お姉ちゃんやっほー。そうなの。困ったことに父親がわからないのよね。でも、もう下ろせないし、どうしようと思って。いやー、困った困った。
なんて冗談っぽく言いながらケラケラ笑っている。父親がわからないってどういうこと？それに下ろせないって今何週なの
？24週目あたりっぽいんだよね。もともと私生理不順だったからあんまり気にしなかったんだけど、そういえば最近来てないぞって思って。で、なんとなく最近太ったなーなんて思っていたら妊娠でした。
本当に父親はわからないの？
だって半年ぐらい前に関係を持った人ってことでしょ？正直、同伴やアフターも多かったからな。ほら、私、売れっ子だからさ。
どうやら事の深刻さが分かっていないようだ。仕事はどうするの？
仕事？そんなのもうやってらんないわよ。やめてきた。せっかくナンバーワンの座を守ってきたのにさ。お腹が目立ったらお客さんだってもう指名してくれないもの。
なんて言っている。これが子供をお腹に宿した母親の言うことなのか？この日から妹は実家に居座り、なんと3ヶ月後に子供を産んだ。日頃の不摂生がたたったのか、予定より1ヶ月も早い早産だった。生まれた子は未熟児で呼吸が弱く、すぐに集中治療室に入院することになった。私は妹が落ち込むかと思ったのだが、意外にケロッとしていた。ある日、実家に訪れると、三葉が荷物をまとめていた。三葉、引っ越しでもするの？赤ちゃんはどう？大丈夫？
赤ちゃん？あの子？大丈夫なんじゃない？だって病院にいるよ。お医者さんと看護師さんが見てくれているんだから平気でしょ？
この時、言い方がかなり人事だなと思ったが、三葉のことだからあまり深く考えていないのだろうと思っていた。しかし、この直後、妹は私たちの目の前から姿を消した。そして同じ日、家に帰ると、リビングのテーブルの上に一枚のメモと、片側が記入済みの離婚届が置かれていた。離婚しよう。俺は三葉ちゃんと本気だから、これからは彼女と幸せになる。じゃあな。は？夫のスマホに連絡したが全く繋がらず、もちろん三葉も繋がらなかった。会社にも連絡したのだが、いきなり辞めたそうだ。それから数日後、消費者金融から夫名義の借金の督促状が来た。なんと夫には500万もの借金があったのだ。後から調べて分かったのだが、夫は妹をナンバーワンでいさせるために、ドンペリやシャンパンタワーなどかなりの額を貢いでいた。カードが限度額を超え、消費者金融に手を出していたらしい。その督促状が、夫が逃げた今、私の元に来たのだ。つまり夫は、妹と逃げただけでなく、私に借金を押し付け逃亡したのだ。さらに病院からも電話が来た。妹さんと連絡が取れないのですが、この日、妹と夫は生後1ヶ月の赤ちゃんまでも置き去りにしてどこかに消えた。それから13年が経った。私は公園近くのカフェで人を待っていた。コーヒーを飲みながら本を読んでいると、
ママ、喉乾いた。僕、ハンバーグ食べたい。
と子供の声がガヤガヤと店内に響いた。続いて、
ここで買うのはママとパパのコーヒーだけ。あんたたちは水筒の水でも飲んでな。
と、母親らしき女性の怒声が聞こえた。ちょっとそれはあんまりじゃない？と声のした方を見ると、子供を4人ほど連れた夫婦がいた。子供は見たところ、小学校高学年、低学年、保育園児2人という年齢だろう。全員ヨレヨレの服を着ている。なんとなく見ていると夫婦と目が合って、驚いた。元夫と妹だったのだ。突然の再会に私が言葉を失っていると、妹が笑いながら私の方にやってきた。
やだ、お姉ちゃんじゃん、久しぶり。もう、かれこれ、12、13年ぶり？うわー、もう見た目おばさんじゃん。
そして元夫も。うわー、本当に双葉か？お前老けたな。やっぱりあの時別れて正解だったな。みっちゃんの方がまだ全然綺麗だしな。などと言う。確かに妹の方がパッと見は若いが、その顔には細かいシワが多数刻まれ、それを隠すかのように濃いメイクが施されている。子供たちは、
誰？
お腹減った。などと口々に言っているが、両親はそんな子供たちを気にする風もなく、私に話しかけてくる。あれから独り身か。そりゃそうだよな。松市の9人女なんかもらい手がないもんな。俺たちを見ろ、こんなに子沢山だぞ。羨ましいだろ。元夫は椅子に座ったままの私を見下ろしながら、店内に響くような大声で笑った。あれ、こんな言い方をする人だったかしら。昔に比べてかなり思いやりのない、そやな性格になったようだ。そして妹はヘラヘラと笑いながら、
そういえばあの子はどうしたの？名前なんだっけ？ああ、そうだ、リツだ。生きてるの？それともあの世に行っちゃったのかしら？子供がいないお姉ちゃんにせめて少しだけでも面倒を見させてあげようと思って置いてったんだけど。
と言った。は？あの世に行ったかですって？名前まで今の今まで忘れていたわけ？しかもこの人たち、あの子を不妊の私のために置いていったとか抜かした？何をとぼけたことを言っているのだろう。ここで会ったのも何かの縁だ。本当のことを教えてやろう。リツは元気よ。今は中学生になって大好きな部活に打ち込んでいるわ。妹たちが置き去りにした子供のことを教えると。
生きてるの？なんだ、いつまで経っても呼吸器が外れないから、そのまま死んじゃうと思ったのに。
まるで生きているのが残念とでも思っているかのような言い方だ。あなた、医師の説明をちゃんと聞いていなかったでしょ。ただ早くに生まれたから呼吸器官が弱かっただけよ。あの後無事に退院できてね、その後はすくすくと順調に育ったわ。
じゃあ返してもらおっかな。
は？
だって、うち今小さい子がたくさんいてね、面倒を見てくれるお姉ちゃんがいると便利だよなと思って。
妹はにやりと笑いながら言った。何をバカなこと言っているの？あなたは13年前にあの子を捨てたのよ。はいそうですかって渡すわけないでしょ。
でも実の親は私よ。あの子だって私みたいな綺麗なママがいるって知ったらきっと戻ってくるに違いないわ。
と妹が勝ち誇ったように言うので教えてあげた。おあいにくさま、私は律に生まれについてちゃんと教えてあるわ。だから私が実の親ではないことはもう知ってるの。それでもあの子はいいと言ってくれた。あなた、自分で捨てたくせに律が戻ってくるとでも思っているの？そう、すでに律には中学に上がった頃に本当のことを話してある。いずれ本当のことを知る日が来るなら、私からちゃんと話しておきたかったのだ。最初こそショックを受けていたようだが、私たち家族が律のことを本当の娘として心から思っていることを話したら、涙を流してありがとうお母さんと私に言ってくれたのだ。だからもし妹が律に会って本当の母親が自分だと名乗ったところで何も変わらないはずだ。妹はそれを知ると私に暴言を吐いてきた。
何よ、ちょっと育てたからって母親気取り？私の子を自分の子供のように言うのはやめて。これだから孤独な不妊女は嫌なのよ。独り身だから子供がいなくなると寂しいんでしょ？
と勝ち誇ったように言う。だからちゃんと教えてあげよう。あら？私再婚してるわよ。
またまた、負け惜しみ？いくら独り身が恥ずかしいからって強がるのはやめてくれる？
そうだそうだ。お前が不妊なのはもうバレバレなんだぞ。そんなバツイチ女、もらってくれる奴がいるはずないだろ。俺だって捨てたんだからな。この人たちは子供の前だというのに、不妊とか捨てたとか言いまくって、親としての常識がないのか？まあ常識がないから幼い律を捨てたんだろうけど。まあ、あなたたちにどう言われようと結婚しているのは本当よ。今だって
すぐそこの公園に夫がいるんだから。ちょうどそんな話をしていると、双葉、お待たせ。そう言って現れたのは、サングラスをかけたアーノルド・シュワルツェネッガー風の白人男性。二人は目を丸くして驚いている。シュワちゃんというか、外人？誰？私はそんな二人を放っておいて声をかけてきた人物に返答した。
ああ、マット、遅かったのね。
このシュワちゃんじゃなくて外人と知り合い？もしかして再婚相手って？そう、彼が私の再婚相手のマット。13年前、入院中の姪のリツ。夫名義の多額の借金を残されて私は途方に暮れた。実際、すでに高齢の両親が姪の面倒を見れるわけもなく、実質的に面倒を見るのは私になった。この頃、私はすべてを押し付けられたことで、一度は落ち込んだものの、ある存在に助けられた。それが幼いリツだ。彼女は生きようとする力が強く、何度か危ない時はあったものの、病院の先生方の力もあり、峠を無事に乗り越えた。私は妹の代わりに何度も通院し、その命の力強さを目の当たりにして、この子を見習おうと思ったのだ。そして自分たちを捨てた奴らに負けず、二人で精一杯人生を楽しく満喫してやると心に決めた。それから私の生活は一変した。結婚後は専業主婦だったが、二人で生きていくためには仕事をしなければいけない。元夫の借金もあったため、とりあえず賃貸マンションを解約し、リツと共に実家に身を寄せた。そして自分にも何かできる仕事はないかと探していた時に見つけたのが、小中学生向けの塾講師の求人情報。実は私は昔、教師を目指しており、大学では教育学部を専攻し、教育実習もした過去がある。ただ、実習の現場で、教師は授業以外でも忙しく、辛労も激しいことが分かったため、自分には務まらないのではと教職を断念していた。しかし、塾なら基本的に関わるのは授業だけ。そこで応募してみると、実習経験や営業事務をしていた経験を買われ、塾講師として採用された。最初は教育実習以来、久しぶりの生徒への授業ということで緊張したが、数週間も続けると慣れてきた。こうして私は、リツを育てながら、塾講師として働き、借金を返済しながら、次第に生活の基盤を築いていったのだ。そしてそんな時に出会ったのが、同じ塾で英会話講師をしていたマット。マットは見るからにいかつい雰囲気だったので、最初は接点など何もなかった。しかし、親睦会の時に、たまたま席が隣になり、英語で話しかけられると思いきや、意外に流暢な日本語だったので話が弾んだ。それをきっかけに仲良くなり、交際、結婚に発展したのだ。目の前にいる二人は、私が再婚しているだけでなく、その夫がシュワちゃん風の外国人であることに驚いたのだろう。何も言えずにフリーズしているので、彼が夫のマットよ。マット、こちらは私の妹と元夫。たまたまここで会っちゃって。と紹介した。マットがサングラスを外して、どうも、はじめまして。と挨拶していると、マットの背中から、ママと言いながら、二重のクリッとした青い目の子供がひょこっと顔を出した。それを見た二人は、後ろに、天使が見える。と、マットを見ながら後ずさりする。ちょうど店内に差し込んできた夕日がマットの背中越しに見えて、それこそ五光のようにきらめいている。マットの背中から子供が降りて、テクテクと私の方に向かい、
ママ、疲れちゃった。
しがみついてきた。それを見た妹と元夫は、
ママって、この天使みたいな子、もしかしてお姉ちゃんが産んだの？なわけないか、不妊だもんね。もしかして旦那さんの連れ子？
きっとそうだ。そうに違いない。こんな可愛い子、双葉から生まれるわけないもんな。ははは。と二人で笑っている。何言ってるの？この子は私の子。アンっていうの。もうすぐ4歳よ。
マット、ごめん。ちょっとこの人たちに話があるから、アンと公園で待っててくれる？ママお話があるの。終わったら呼ぶからね。マットには私の過去に何があったのか、どういう経緯でリツを育てているのかはすでに話してある。それを分かった上で、子連れの私と結婚してくれたのだ。マットは私に、じゃあ終わったら連絡して。I'll be back. と、親指を立てて、サングラスをかけ直し、アンを連れて外に出てくれた。そう、私には、リツとアンの2人の娘がいる。アンはマットとの間の子。たった今までカフェ近くの公園で遊んでいたのだ。そう、元夫には不妊と言われ続けていたが、マットと結婚して私はアンを授かった。つまり、検査でも分かってはいたが、不妊の原因は私にはなかったということが証明されたのだ。本当にお前が産んだのか？あんなに可愛い子？不妊だとばかり思っていたのに。と、元夫がぽつりと言ったので教えることにした。ただ、小さな子供に聞かせるような話ではない。そこで、あなた、まだ気づいてないの？とにかくここからの話は子供たちの前でするようなことじゃないわ。大事なことだから、大人だけで話したいんだけど。と言うと、元夫たちは、めんどくせえな。と言いながら、連れていた子供たちの中でも一番年上らしい子に命令した。おい、そこの公園でちょっとばかり下のチビたちを遊ばせとけ。終わったら迎えに行ってやるよ。そう言うと、子供は父親同様に、めんどくさい。と言いつつ、下の子を連れてカフェを出て行った。で、大事な話ってなんだよ。もしかしてリツを育てたから金をよこせっていうつもりか？それなら無理だぞ。俺ら金なんかないからな。と元夫がニヤニヤと言うので現実を教えてあげた。そんなこと言わないわよ。私が言いたいのは、不妊の原因はおそらくあなたよってこと。夫は驚きのあまり、口を開いたままフリーズした。数秒後、絞り出すように言った。何を出まかせよ。自分が産んだからって何言ってんだよ。たまたま授からなかっただけだろ。それに見ろ。俺にはこんなに子供がいるんだ。俺に不妊の原因があるわけないだろ。だからおかしいとは思ったんだけど、あの子たちよく見ると誰もあなたに似てないわよね。産んだのは三葉かもしれないけど、本当に父親はあなたなの？これを聞いて、三葉の顔が真っ青になるのを私は見逃さなかった。お姉ちゃん、バカなこと言わないでよ。子供たちの父親はこの人よ。自分が不妊扱いされて、捨てられたからって腹いせでいい加減なこと言わないで。三葉は悲鳴のように叫びながら私を睨んできた。そんな睨みに私はひるまない。私は真実を淡々と述べた。実は私、幼児のお母さんに聞いたのよ。あなたたちが消えてから私は何度も義実家に行ったわ。その時に私が捨てられたのは不妊のせいかもしれないって言ったら、お母さんは泣きながら私に謝ってきたわ。子供ができなかったのは幼児のせいかもしれないって。どういうことだよ、それ。俺は何も知らない。あなた、大学生の時におたふく風邪になって高熱で入院したことがあるでしょ？その時、あなたの大事な部分も炎症を起こして痛かったと思うんだけど。そんなこともあったよな。その時にお母さんはお医者様から言われたそうよ。精巣炎になったので、もしかしたら子供を授かるのは難しいかもしれないって。でも、お母さんは高校を卒業したばかりのあなたにそんなことを言えなかったそうよ。だから私たちが不妊だった原因も私ではなくあなたにあるのかもって。嘘だ。だって、俺には可愛い子供たちが。そうね。だから、あなたは本当に父親なのかなって。三葉は知っているでしょうけど。私がそう言うと、元夫は三葉を凝視して尋ねた。なあ、みっちゃん、こいつの言ってることは嘘だよな。あいつらは俺の子供だろ？三葉は顔を真っ青にしながら。当たり前じゃない。きっとお母さんの勘違いか。たまたまあなたはなんとか縁ってやつになったけど、大丈夫だったってことじゃない？そうだよな。俺は大丈夫だ。俺はあいつらの父親だ。
なんか無理に自分たちを納得させようとしているのが目に見えたので、ふと聞いてみた。子供たちの血液型って知ってる？すると元夫が、確か子供らは A 型か B 型だったな。で、俺が O 型で、みっちゃんが AB だろ？血液型正派だ。と言ったので、私は思わず笑ってしまった。三葉は顔が真っ青を通り越して真っ白。元夫はバカみたいにヘラヘラ笑っている。血液型完全正派？笑える。私は元夫に真実を教えてあげることにした。ねえ、あなた、三葉の血液型本当に知ってる？AB だろ？だからうちの子らは A と B なんだよな。というので、私は真実の爆弾を落としてやった。三葉は O 型よ。つまり O 型のあなたが父親なら A 型も B 型も生まれないはずなんだけど。ちょっとみっちゃん、どういうこと？血液型嘘ついてたの？じゃあ、俺の子は？真っ青な顔で黙っている妹の代わりに私が教えてあげよう。あなたと三葉の子供がいたとしたら O 型のはずよ。ということは子供全員とも父親はあなたじゃないってことになるわね。嘘だろ？三葉、俺のこと騙してたのか？俺は今まで何のためにあいつらを育ててきたんだよ。お前と子供たちのためと思って雨の日も雪の日も日雇いの仕事をしてきたのに。どうやら元夫は私との離婚後は日雇いの仕事ばかりしていたよう。真実を知った元夫は顔を真っ赤にして妹に掴みかかった。妹は髪を掴まれたものの、なんとか逃れ、そのまま悲鳴を上げながらカフェの外に走って出た。元夫が追いかける。カフェの窓から見ていると、そのまま公園に向かい、そこでまた元夫に捕まったようだ。ギャーギャー言い争っているうちに子供たちも集まってきたよう。壮大な鬼ごっこが始まってしまった。果たしてあの家族どうなることやら。そんなことを考えていたらカフェの入り口が開いて一人の少女が入ってきた。ママ、お待たせ。部活が長引いちゃった。あれ？パパとアンは？彼女がリツだ。パパたちは公園にいるはずよ。夕飯は何食べたい？どこに行こうか。今日はリツの部活終わりに待ち合わせをして外食をする予定になっていたのだ。そうだな。アンは多分ハンバーグ食べたいって言うだろうから洋食屋さんかな。リツはニコニコしながら可愛い妹のことをちゃんと考えて提案してくれる。妹思いの優しい姉なのだ。わかった。じゃあパパたちに連絡するね。私はそう言ってスマホでマットに連絡した。その後、元夫と妹は別れて、元夫は自分の実家に戻ってきたそうだ。なんで知っているのかというと、元夫の母からわざわざ連絡があったからだ。それによると、やはり子供たちの父親は元夫ではなかった。13年前、妹は私たちの前から消えても、別の夜の店で働き続け、そこで関係を持った男たちの子供を次々に産んだようだ。関係を持った男たちからすれば、妊娠なんてされたらたまったもんじゃない。そこで妹は、おろすからと言って費用をもらっていた。一方、元夫には、あなたの子を妊娠したと言い、本当の父親からもらったお金をキャバクラで稼いだ金だと言っていたそう。元夫は妹にまんまと騙されて、いいように子供たちの父親役をやらされていたのだ。真実が分かった今、元夫は、これ以上使われてたまるかと、離婚届を突きつけて出て行ったそうだ。元夫から捨てられて困った妹は、子供たちの父親である男たちに子供を引き取ってくれだの、復縁してくれだの頼んで回ったようだが、当時費用をもらったこともあり、相手が了承するわけがない。むしろ約束が違うということで、金返せと責められて大変なことになってるらしい。墓穴を掘るとはこのことだ。しまいには実家の両親に助けを求めてきたが、孫を捨てて姉の夫を奪った娘を両親が許すはずもない。妹は正式に家族の縁を切られた。そして実家に戻った元夫はというと、自分が子供を持てないこと、さらに13年間も騙されて
他人の子供を育てさせられていたことがショックで、人間不信となり、実家に引きこもっているそうだ。まさに因果応報。そして私はというと、今も塾講師として働いている。私が勤め出した頃は小さな塾だったが、今では県内でも塾生の進学率が高いことで知られる有名塾となり、その規模も大きくなった。いろいろな講師がいるが、その中でも私は、今まで進学に悩む子供に寄り添い、無事に希望校への合格を導いたと、親御さんからも厚い信頼を寄せられている。塾長からは今度、新たに開設する塾を任せたいとまで言われている。この年になっても新しいことに挑戦するのは楽しい。何よりも子供たちを支え、その頑張る姿を見られるのは、今では私のやりがいだ。だから塾長の申し出を受けようと思っている。大変かもしれないけど頑張れる。私には支えてくれる家族がいるから。それから2年後、律は私の勤める塾で受験勉強をし、無事に志望の高校に入学できた。幼かったアンも小学生になったので、2人の入学祝いを兼ねて家族旅行を計画中だ。律、アン、どこがいい？私、北海道に行きたい。
アンはね、動物園に行きたい。
と2人が口々に言う。
じゃあ、北海道に行って、旭山動物園に行こうか。ペンギンの散歩を間近に見れるぞ。
と夫が言うと、2人ともキャッキャと喜んだ。お母さんはカニが食べたいわ。
よし、俺はジンギスカンだ。
また一つ、家族の楽しい思い出が増えそうだ。
You've never been to such a splendid ryote before. You'll never reach it from the world you live in. Are you really going to sit with us, a high school dropout cleaner? Yoshima said, crossing his arms and raising his chin. Enough. I've been holding back until now, but I didn't want you to get in the way on this very important day. Now I have an idea. My patience ends today. I'm Kumiko. I'm 39 years old. I live with my husband and son. My husband, Shita, is 2 years younger than me, 37 years old. This year marks our 6th year of marriage. And my son, Hikaru, is almost 3 months old. He's started laughing out loud with Yasu, and he's so cute. His nighttime breastfeeding has finally settled down and he's been able to sleep well, but he always wakes up early in the morning, so I think my lack of sleep will continue for a while. I'd heard that childbirth and child rearing are both physical challenges, but when I experienced it, I realized how hard it really is. Seigo could barely move. It took a long time to recover. But in my case, my husband, Shita, helped me a lot. He took a month of childcare leave from his position as a soldier and took care of most of the housework. I think he's a really good husband. Even after his childcare leave ended, he came home as soon as he could, and he's good at changing and bathing our son. It's a little stressful, but we're happy every day. However, when you look inside this family, it's not all happiness. Oh, there's another message from my mother. Futoshi sighed as he looked at his smartphone. She said she would contact me when things settled down and asked if we should do a shrine visit soon. Mom is also happy about her first grandchild. But I have to think about it soon. I haven't been able to visit Hikaru's shrine yet because I've been feeling sick a lot with Seigo's condition. I'm thinking that it might be okay to visit the shrine with Kuizome, but it would be fine. I only need to take pictures once. Can I return it like that? Yes, it's okay. Once a child is born, it's inevitable to have a relationship with my parents' home. I know that very well, but I just can't bring myself to do it.
A big part of the reason for running a suspicious family home is righteousness. My husband has a sister named Cow who is 7 years younger than him. She loves her brother so much that she is surely loved by him because of the 7-year age difference. My husband is always kind to me because he has always loved his sister, but I think she is a little too rude. Although Shita says she is annoying, he has somehow forgiven Kaori. When I went to introduce myself to my parents after getting married, I was surprised to see Yoshima sitting next to them as if it was natural. He also asked me what my job was, as if it was a habit. I was confused and answered, cleaning work, but Cow's imitation of him immediately rose to the occasion. What's cleaning work? Isn't that the lowest level of work? Kaori, it's too rude to say that to a child. Shita immediately responded. Because you're the one you're bringing home, you'd think he'd be a better person. Mom said it too. She said that if Shita wants to marry her, she must be a better person. I'm sure she's disappointed in herself that she's working in the cleaning business. But, that's rude to say. Anyway, let's hear it to the end. My mother-in-law is looking away. So what university did you go to? I didn't say which university. I answered without thinking, pushed by Cow's momentum. Ah. What do you mean? You're a middle school dropout? I can't believe it. I won't approve of this marriage. Kaori said that and ran out of the room. Kaori's mother-in-law immediately followed. My father-in-law just sipped tea in silence. Then he put the tub down and glared at us. I heard it was a wedding greeting. That's the intention. This is Kumiko. The scent is good, but your father's educational background and occupation don't matter. That's right. For now, I'm thinking of not having a ceremony and just taking pictures. I see. Well, I don't know what your mother will say, but it seems like a lot of places these days just take pictures. I see. Sorry for showing you something that wasn't there. I'll take good care of you, Kumiko-san. Gifu father said that and left. Futoshi said with a displeased look on my face as I was confused. Dad is so smug that he doesn't oppose it, so it seems like he's approved of the marriage, so it's okay. And sorry about the smell. I think he just hasn't sorted out his feelings because he's been so attached to me up until now. He's usually a cute guy. This is what it was like when we first met. My image of my demonic family is a scary stepfather, a stepmother who is a daughter-in-law, and even a stepfather who has a brocon. Although we were able to get married safely, he hides his insults from my stepfather. He also seems to be concerned about my academic background, so it's not effective at all. I've managed to get by so far thanks to Shita's phone ringtone, who has been trying to keep me from being too involved with my suspicious family. I came back to my senses. Hello. Yes, have you seen the email? It seems that the other person is my stepmother. Right. I looked up Okuism and it seems that in some areas, Okuism and Miyamiri are done together. I wonder. We're still discussing it. Oh, that's fine. We're going to decide. Oh, that's true, but I'll talk to my daughter about it. Yeah. So, Mom. Yes, it seems she called as soon as she saw the email. She said it would be fine to do it the same as the shrine visit dying. She said she wanted to make a reservation at a restaurant for the dying, and that she'd talk to her daughter about it, but what should we do? What should we do? I know Mom is excited, but it's our first child, so we want to do it as much as possible ourselves. That's right. It was finally born. We had a hard time having children, and we were undergoing infertility treatment due to our age. We got married at 33. We were just around the corner at 35, which is the borderline for older women giving birth. Looking back, it may not have been a good idea to be worried about pregnancy from the beginning because of our age. A year and a half had passed since we started trying to get pregnant, and we went to a clinic famous for infertility treatment. My husband, Sheeta, was also proactive about infertility treatment and went to the clinic with me from the beginning. Apparently, the vast majority of first-timers come alone, and I was happy and proud when the nurse told me that I had a wonderful husband. Infertility treatment begins with the timing method, undergoing various tests, and gradually progresses to artificial insemination, exogenous insemination, and micro-insemination. It takes a lot of time, money, perseverance, and mental strength. Infertility treatment does not produce results just by spending time and money. In addition, there is a lot of stress from those around me, and even after starting treatment, the results were not forthcoming. And when I think about the cause of the stress, it is my parents' house. Or rather, my mother-in-law and Yoshima. I kept my infertility treatment a secret from my parents' house. But when Yoshima suddenly came to visit without any contact, I forgot to hide the calendar where I had written my clinic's reception schedule. What's more, unfortunately, Shota was at home. If Shota was there, it would have been just a slight nasty remark or a bug, but without Shota, it's not like that. Kumiko, Sakaguchi Clinic is the 3 couples in front of the station, right? Are you pregnant? That's not it. Maybe she goes there periodically? Saying that, she tried to flip through the pages of the Yoshima render. Oh, wait. It was too late when I stopped her. She's been saying that quite regularly. If she's not pregnant, then what? She wouldn't say anything about infertility treatment, would she? Ah. What, a lie, really? She got together with her brother after graduating from junior high school, but she's infertile. She should have left Toshima, who has such a low level of education. What are you saying? Isn't it true? She graduated from junior high school and is infertile. I'm sure your brother thought he would marry you. Ah, but maybe it was a good thing. He'll get tired of you if you don't bury the child, won't he? Even if he does, it seems that there is a higher risk of developmental disorders if you give birth at an older age. Are you okay, Kumiko? Sheeta's voice brought me back to my senses. I can't go. I I even remembered unpleasant things. Komiya Mairi, where is Kumiko's mother? Our house is far away, so I think it would be difficult to go together. That's true. It's about 3 hours by plane, too. Oh, then how about visiting the Atsuchimiya shrine over there when we go to Oban? When I was researching, I found some experiences of people who visited both shrines when their parents' homes were far away. It's Kumiko's first grandchild, isn't it? By that time, Hikaru will be about 6 months old. That's nice. I think Mom will be happy. My father passed away when I was in high school. When I got married, my mother moved back to the countryside where my mother's parents' home is, so now it's quite far away. So, we should visit both shrines, but what about Oizumi? Mom is really excited about it, but should we just go to the mountain pilgrimage together and decline, saying it's just us? Is that okay? Mom has already decided on a candidate for the store. It's fine. Hika is mine and Kumiko's child. I know Mom loves her grandchild, but to be honest, it's a bit annoying. Oh, the phone rings, cutting off Shota's voice. If it's a rumor, it's Mom. What's this time? Yes, what's wrong? Oh, so I'm just discussing it. We're the only ones at Okuizome. Oh? Why, Kumiko? I get it. Kumiko. Shota is handing me his smartphone. Mom says I should change. Oh, me? Right. If she says something weird, you can just ignore her and hang up. Thank you. She takes the smartphone from Shota and answers the phone. Hello. Mom's been a while. It's Kumiko. Kumiko. You've heard about Okuizome from Shota, right? Oh, I'm sorry, but there's a restaurant called Ryote that we often use at home. It's a really nice place. Kumiko, you've never been to Ryote, have you? It's a great way to stop Hikaru-chan from eating. Kaori will make the reservation, so you can leave it to me. Oh, there are 3 people at Okuizome? What do you mean, 3? You can go to a really nice Ryote. It's a place that Kumiko might never be able to go to in her lifetime. Besides, it's the elders who feed the baby the rice. That's why it's difficult for children without a forehead. I think it's Kumiko. Shida snatches the smartphone. Mom, it's fine because we'll do the rice dyeing together. We'll go to the shrine visit together. I've already made a reservation. Hey, Mom. She hung up. Futoshi sighed. I'm fine with the mothers being with us. I'm afraid of what will happen if things get any more complicated. You're probably right. I'm sorry, I couldn't say no properly. Yes, it's a celebration. I'm sure it'll be fine. But I'll realize that I was wrong. The day of the shrine visit and rice dyeing. Hikaru-chan is starting to look like her big brother and is cute. Yoshiminoka-san was there as expected, but that's within the realm of expectation. I'm really glad she looks like her daddy. Kaori-san says, glancing at me. She says no with a face that says she's going to say something mean. She's a troublesome person. If he looked like me, people would wonder if Futoshi was really the father, so I'm glad he was born to a father. That's what I think. That's right. I'm glad I can see what Shota was like when he was little. I'm an adult who smiles back at him, pretending not to notice. The shrine visit ended without incident. We then moved to Ryote, which the mothers had reserved for the sake of dyeing. We got out of the car and thought it was our parents, seeing the familiar exterior. What? Where is this? By the way, Kumiko-san was suddenly called out by Kaori-san. Are you really going to go in such a cheap dress? Yes. I thought the same thing at the shrine visit, but don't mothers cut their kimonos at times like this? But can you stop wearing such a cheap dress because it would lower our core? I don't think we're wearing kimonos all the time these days, and we have meals and Hikaru, so we decided after consulting with Shota that it would be better to wear something that's easy to move around in. Well, that's fine. I hope Ryote doesn't refuse. Kao-san sighs. Shota, who was talking to his mother-in-law, comes back. Kumiko, was AKA saying something strange again? Yes, it's fine. I take Hikaru out of the car. He must have been tired from the shrine visit, because he's sleeping soundly. I'll hold him. Shida took Hikaru. Thank you. I think he looks just like Kumiko. He's shining. Look, the way his hair looks, his mouth, etc. Are you worried about what Kaori said earlier? It's fine. He's cute no matter what. I see. That's right. Let's go. This is Okada, the reservation. We've been waiting for you. The waiter bowed with a smile, then took a quick look at us, his face frightened. What's wrong? Okada-sama, your reservation is fine, so can you show us to your room? Cow said, and the waiter said, and he was polite. He led us to a private room in the back. Oh? There were 4 child chairs and adult seats in the room. Does that mean Yoshima won't be joining? Isn't there 1 seat missing? When my father-in-law said that, Yoshima laughed and said yes. Oh, Dad, this is fine. Hikaru-chan, Dad, Mom, my brother, and me. There's enough for everyone. Wait a minute, Kaori. Why isn't there a seat for Kumiko? She's Hikaru's mother. Brother, wake up already. This woman is not the kind of woman to be with my brother. Kaori glared at me. You've never been to such a fine restaurant like this. You'll never reach it from the world you live in. Are you sure a middle school dropout wants to sit with us? Our family will take care of Hikaru-chan's inner dressing. Kaori, Kumiko, you're going too far just because you don't like her. The gentle Shota spoke out loud without thinking. I glanced at my parents-in-law. My father-in-law looked surprised, while my mother-in-law was calm. Let's sit down quickly. We're making the restaurant staff wait. I see. So my mother-in-law knew from the beginning. I get it. Come on, big brother. Kumiko-san also knows. Let Hikaru-chan sit down. We'll eat in the private room in the annex. I call out to Nakai-san. Could you please tell the staff that Kawamoto has come? And then please prepare a table for Okuizumi and 2 adults. Kawamoto is my savior. I understand. Please wait a moment. Nakai-san bows deeply. What's going on? There's no way a mere cleaner could suddenly get a private room. Yes, let's go. That's right. Wait a minute. Why? I often use both restaurants. What? What do you mean? Futoshi took a deep breath. It was not good that I didn't explain it properly until now. I was worried that it would add fuel to the fire, so I kept quiet. Kaori Kumiko's job is definitely cleaning. But she's the president of a cleaning company. She's succeeding her father. I nodded and said as Futoshi said. My father ran a small cleaning company that continued from the previous one. The plan was for me to join the company after graduating from high school. However, my father collapsed from a cerebral infarction while in high school. It was difficult for my mother to run the company alone, so I dropped out of high school. After that, my mother and I ran the company together. But, even if that woman was really the president, there's no way she could get a private room like this. Kao-san came to me. Kawamoto-sama, the room is ready. Nakai-san gently corrected Kaori-san and called out. Why? Why is a woman like this being treated like this? Nakai-san smiled and muttered only one word. Please enjoy. Explain. What do you mean? Stop with the smell. My father-in-law's heavy, quiet voice rang out. There's no way a restaurant employee would be able to chat away about information about customers. And your attitude is definitely not appropriate for Ryote. Like some random thug. But your dad said, but, oh, you, single quote. So you knew you smelled it too and kept quiet? Ah. My father-in-law sighed deeply. That's enough, Kumiko. Sorry, Shida. You guys should go now. Let's go, Kumiko. Sorry. Please show us the way, single quote. Nakai nodded and led us in that direction. Backquote, is it okay, dads? Single quote, backquote, it's fine. Backquote, more importantly, I'm sorry. Backquote, it was such a special day. Backquote, yes. It was a great help having your dad here. Backquote, by the way, what, do you know the owners of Ryote here? Single quote, backquote, single quote, backquote, yes. My dad was a senior at the manager's junior high school and was originally a client of Ryote, and they were very kind to us. Nakai, walking in front of us, looked back. The cleaning at Kumiko's company is very thorough, and especially when the glass is cleaned, the view outside looks so beautiful that it seems like there is no glass the day after you come in. That's an exaggeration. As soon as I was shown to a private room in the annex, the manager appeared. Welcome. I thought you hadn't been here recently, so it was thank you. You should have said something. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't ask where it was and it ended up sounding like I was using it. It's fine, it's nice. More than that, I wish you had come to my store if you had had such a cute baby. I'm sorry. I was thinking of letting you know in the New Year's card. I'm sure Kawamoto-senpai wanted to see it too. Kumi-chan's child. That's right. You're a senior in junior high school, so you've been friends for a long time? No-san answers Futoshi's question with a smile. Of course I've known you since you were so young. Kawamoto-senpai. Kumi-chan's father loves Kumi-chan so much. I don't know if he came to talk about work or his daughter. I'm sorry. What did my father say to my father? I feel embarrassed now. Well, I thought of her as a daughter. I thought of her as such. So, husband, you have to protect Kumi-chan. If something like today happens again, I won't keep quiet. I'll take it to heart, Gino-san. Like a first birthday. Nowadays, we celebrate half birthdays even if it's only half a year, so please come to our Ryote. Hito-san smiled mischievously, bowed politely, and left. There was a low chair for children and 2 adult seats in the room. Even though we went there suddenly, the food was properly prepared. As expected. Kumiko, shall we sit down? That's right. Hikaru seems to have just woken up. Oh, Hikaru, you know. We're going to have a luxurious meal. Well, Hikaru can't eat it, that's true. Hikaru is flapping his hands. We looked at each other and laughed at Hikaru's behavior as if he was interrupting our conversation. After that, Kao-san and her mother-in-law were apparently severely scolded by her father-in-law. The next day, all 3 of them came to my house to apologize. Don't do that again. If you do it again, I'll cut off all ties with you. Kao-san was shocked by Shita's words and kept his head down in silence. It's about time you left your 23rd birthday. Why don't you find someone to marry? Oh, Dad, don't talk about that in a place like this. That's right. Dad, Kaori-chan has a boyfriend, doesn't she? Mom. Oh, really? Kaori, what kind of guy is he? Tai leaned forward with interest. He said. What did you say you broke up? Why didn't you say that Kaori-chan said that this person could go all the way to marriage? I don't know. I want to hear it. I was suddenly dumped on our last date. Don't bring up this topic in front of my brother. Mom's poop, I'm going home now. Kaori-san stood up vigorously and headed to the entrance. Kaori-san. I asked Kaori if she was putting on her shoes at the entrance. You forgot something. I handed her Kaori's ka. Kaori took it as if snatching it without saying a word. I hope you find a way to say it to your marriage partner. What, are you trying to be mean? No way. However, Kaori was worried that the risk of developmental disorders increases if I give birth at an older age, so if I get married late, the birth will also be delayed. When I said it with a smile, she glared at me. Shut up. You're meddling. Kaori opened the front door roughly and left quickly. I won't be punished if I go this far. I was alone, watching Kaori's back. When my parents-in-law left, Shota called out to me. Kaori, you're tired. Sorry, it's okay. For now, it seems like I won't be asked to do anything strange from now on. I'm relieved. If anything happens, please come right away. Yes, thank you. That's right, let's take Hikaru and go see Kumiko's mother. I think I can take a break next month because the project I'm working on will be over. Really? I think I'll ask my mom. My mom came here when I gave birth, but I haven't seen Hikaru since then. I hope she'll be happy. I called my mom right away. Later, Shida told me why Kao was dumped. Apparently, she told her boyfriend about the situation at the time of the dying, shifting the victim. It seems that she didn't think she was at fault at all even though her dad scolded her so much about the fragrance. She told her boyfriend that Kumiko ruined Hikaru's dying, and that it was strange that her dad scolded her. They started talking about breaking up right after that. Well, it's a good medicine. I hope this will help her understand that things don't always go her way. That's right. People can't change that quickly, though. Apparently, she's still looking for a partner through matchmaking and matchmaking parties, but she can't seem to get married. I guess the main chapter will come out in the middle. 3 years have passed in the blink of an eye, and Kao-san has caught up with the year I married Shida. He seems to be anxious, but there is no way to get married until he finds a partner. How is your mother? Hikaru is smiling brightly in his shiny sneakers. Wow, Hikaru is so nice. He's cool, ehehe. Children grow up so quickly, and Hikaru will start nursery school in April. Thank you, Hito-san. The one who gave me the shoes was Gino-san, the manager of Ryote. He came to visit us from time to time after we met when he was struggling financially. Hikaru has become attached to him, and he's become like another grandfather. No, it's a little early to celebrate his admission to nursery school. Hikaru, wear those shoes and play outside with all your energy. Yes. Thank you, Grandpa. Dad, I want to go to the park like this.
Right now? Okay, but are you going to go with those shoes? You're going to get them dirty even though they're so shiny.
Yes, but I like them like this. Futoshi-san, it's fine. Getting dirty is proof that you had a lot of fun. That's right. Thank you, Chino. Now, Kumiko, can I go for a bit? Yes, be careful. Hikaru walks holding Shota's hand, hopping around. So cute. I can't wait to see what Hikaru does next. That's right. Watching the two of them leave, I savored the happiness.